All right, we live.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to the GOAT James Kingdom Show with B. Lee and A. Johnny. As y'all know, we go live Sunday noon Eastern time right here on the GOAT James Kingdom platform. You guys go ahead and hit that like button for today's show. Share the content. Hit that ring notification. Become a subscriber to the channel if you're not already a subscriber to the channel. Also, check out our membership at the GOAT James Kingdom platform. As you know, we are also on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Discord. You guys know what we do best. We talk about basketball and the greatness of the game. And it's playoff time. This is no greater time than now to talk about basketball because we got all the casuals coming in, especially after last night's game. Everybody was ready to watch LeBron James fail. But as usual, elimination games, LeBron James steps up big time. The Lakers go ahead and survive. And like I always told y'all, GOATs do not get swept in the first round, let alone back-to-back seasons.
Yeah, they
So,
wait till they get to the finals to do it.
but y'all see, we got our regular panel here. We got it's A Johnny the Exposer. We got B Lee the Sports Analyst. We are the GOAT James Kingdom platform. We have our MJ delegates down at the bottom. You guys know who they are. We got Craig King and obviously T Perfect, aka Travis, representing for the MJ delegates today because we about to have some fun. We're gonna open up the panel for y'all shortly. So we're gonna discuss LeBron James's playoffs, and we're gonna discuss his whole 21-year season and how much has he overachieved or underachieved, depending on how you want to view it. But we're gonna break it down like we do it best here in GOAT James Kingdom. So again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We see y'all in the comments already. Y'all go ahead and shout out everybody who y'all want to shout out. Y'all getting y'all arguments. We gonna set it straight very shortly. So before we get to what we gotta get to, what you got for me, Brandon? What's good for today?
We're just going to talk about what LeBron did in the playoffs, if he underachieved or overachieved. I know you already got some stuff, so I'm going to just open up to you guys first. Travis, what do you think about LeBron in the playoffs? Did he underachieve or overachieve, and why?
Well, I mean, there's no way you can say that he underachieved because if you say that, then you're just saying you held him to a higher standard or bar coming out of high school than any other player in history. Like, I mean, it's like what'd you say? You like he has to have at least five titles and five MVPs and like do all this for me to say that he under or overachieved or didn't achieve enough. I think it's ridiculous. I think that he again by any measurement, as long as you have a top three resume of all time, you overachieved by any measurement. That's not even talking about his All NBA selections, Finals MVPs, other awards statistically or analytically. Overachieved is an understanding. He's one of only a handful of players or alphas, I should say, whose stats actually get better in the playoffs too. So I just don't think how you could say that he underachieved. Obviously, there's some, you know, situations where he might have won, but his overall resume is, I think, pretty untouchable, especially if you're just talking about, the pantheon.
Okay, just thinking about those situations that he should have won. Which series are you talking about, other than Dallas?
Well, I mean, I'm saying like he not maybe not even should have, but like
Mm.
if things went a little bit differently, he could have. Like I'm thinking specifically, like in 2008 they were up 2-1, and then he didn't have such a good game. But I mean that was they I think they turned up the defensive screws and made some adjustments, and really just took control of that series as a whole defensively. And really, other than that, you could say I think he was overmatched. He was in 2007, of course. He was the best player on a bad team, and that's by any measurement. That's why he has one of the highest box plus bonuses of all time. I could say maybe in 2010 also when they were up, but again that's just one against one of the best teams of all time. So it's hard to say that he should have won. It just a couple things that may have gone differently, but I don't think that he was. I'm not even going to mention 2011 because we've talked about that on nausea, but he's been anytime you go to 10 straight finals, you basically rule your conference for a decade. It's tough to argue that. So
Okay. All right, Craig. Same question: Did LeBron overachieve or underachieve in the playoffs, and why?
I would say he overachieved. Anyone that has a resume like that overachieved because you wouldn't expect it. You can't fathom stuff that he did in the playoffs. So it's over. I would say he overachieved. It's
Okay.
super like you number one in a lot of categories. I mean,
Mm,
All right. So, Johnny, I'm going to ask you a little bit of different question. So, comparing LeBron playoff record to, let's say, Michael Jordan, like his playoff career,
Hmm.
how can you put LeBron's playoff career above Jordan?
Oh, it's easy.
Mm,
LeBron just has more than Jordan. Other than Jordan winning the two Finals MVPs and the two more championships, everything else goes in LeBron's favor. LeBron is complete. I mean, what are we gonna say? The most wins, most series wins, most points, most steals, defensive rebounds, top 10 in every statistical category, averages 28, 9, and for his playoff record, better in the playoffs than he is in the regular season. I mean, what do you want to say? I mean, he just did more in the playoffs than Jordan ever did in the playoffs. That's just it.
okay. All right, Travis. Let me go ahead and kick it back to you. You hear what Johnny said? LeBron's playoff career is better. Uh, try to explain why LeBron making being 4-6 in the finals and how Jordan 6-0 and what he did in the postseason is superior to LeBron James.
Well, I mean, like I said, I don't really care about the 4-6 thing. To me, it's if you're dominating in the playoffs and you're getting there, you're better than you know better than 29 other teams or whatever it is. Then if you lose, then usually there's context around that. But I mean, I'm never gonna say he's better than Jordan as far as like playoff performance because again, Jordan never ever melted down on the biggest stage. LeBron definitely has underperformed at a couple of points there. But it's so close in a razor's thin. Like it's hard to nitpick at anything, because especially looking at this competition. But I'm not gonna say that the guy who's averages what 33, 6 and 7 for the playoffs in general, again is somehow going to be eclipsed by someone who doesn't approach those. And also, I'm gonna think, okay, Mike won a ring 40% of his career, right? Statistically.
Forty
So
percent. They're gonna
yeah,
have 40%. Brandon, remember I told you this
48.
for 40%.
Did Mike
40%.
make the playoff or make the finals? No, absolutely not. But again, like I said, that's where LeBron's unprecedented longevity comes in, and that's a good thing. That adds to his ranking all the time. But I mean, I just can't put him above Jordan as far as if we're just talking about winning, in general, especially in a short period of time.
Okay. All right. Good. That's a pretty good answer. All right, Craig. Let me kick it to you. So you talk about rings is very important for greatness. So you hear this a lot. LeBron being into 10 finals. LeBron has the most playoff wins of all time, one of the most series of all time. How does that relate as being great compared to what everyone basically states 6-0 is like the greatest achievement with six finals MVP? How do those categories between what LeBron did, the 10 finals, most playoff wins, most games won in the playoffs, relate to what Jordan did for that stretch?
Well, for me, it's not the 6-0 per se with the rings. It's the
Mhm.
six final MVPs. That's what separates Jordan from everybody else. The
Okay.
rings, everybody got rings, but to be the best player that many times, to be recognized the best player that many times at the biggest stage, never been down, never faced elimination game in the finals, never had a game 7 in the finals. Like that's a lot. But as far as LeBron, I would say LeBron, like you said, he went to 8 straight final appearances. That's dominating the conference. No one could make the finals as long as LeBron was in the East. That's a good thing. As far as the points and stuff, yes, that matters too. The points, the rebounds, to be the only player in NBA to lead both teams in all major categories. That's impressive as well. But like I said, for me, it's the best player when it comes down to it the most. And until he showed me that he could do it like Jordan with the 6 MVPs.
All right.
That's
So,
the
Greg,
big thing right there.
you basically think the six finals MVPs just separates Jordan from everybody in the
And that's why
game.
I have him ahead of LeBron because of that. They're the only two players to been the best player recognized on their final teams. No one, you can't say, well, this person should have got it or that person should have got it. You take those two players off those teams, they wouldn't win. They wouldn't win a game in the finals.
You anybody think that's true? You take Jordan off of those finals that he made it to, the Bulls wouldn't win a game.
Well, I'm just being, you know,
No, Jordan's team were good. We're gonna talk about how good teams were or not, depending
Yeah.
on yeah. We're gonna talk about that very shortly.
Hey.
All right, so Johnny, we can go kick it back to what you got for us since Craig led us into what you were talking about, what you're going to be talking about.
Okay, yeah, no, we you know that's the thing, right? The idea of the whole GOAT debate between Michael and LeBron is the idea that Jordan is the reason why his teams were great. Jordan is the reasons why his teams was winning. Like he said, those are the only two players we can say for every championship they had. They were definitely the leaders or the best players of the team, and you know they were the Finals MVP for sure. There was no other player we can say deserve it over Jordan or LeBron. But this whole idea that LeBron James underachieved because for one he's 4-6, which means he should have missed the finals 6 times, right? And this whole idea that he would have lost the first round would have been an indictment on him by being swept in the first round. After they always told us being swept in the first round don't mean nothing, right? It's better to actually lose in the first round. We've seen memes where people actually say this: I would rather lose in the first round, get swept in the first round, than get swept in the finals.
Well, we've had people come up here and say that.
Yeah, exactly. So this idea is like preposterous because we always try to tell people that the teams win championships. And yes, being the best player in the league or being the GOAT, quote unquote, Michael Jordan or LeBron should help your team be a better basketball team. But still, at the end of the day, you still need to have the best team to be able to win a championship and to be even considered a title contender. So for anybody to sit here and say LeBron should even win a championship or beat the defending champions, which once the Lakers do that, LeBron will have done that more than Jordan ever did in his career. But you guys make it seem like LeBron is supposed to win every season, even though he doesn't have the best team every season. And you guys claim that he does. We're going to find out who had the best teams in the NBA the last 21 seasons. So I came up with a graph, and I figured out what were the best teams going into the season with the best roster. Not what the best records was, not what happened at the end of the season. When going into that season, prior to that season, which NBA team had the best rosters and the best chance of winning, barring injuries or not. Just this roster is the best roster this league. This team on paper is the best team. They should win the NBA championship. So that's what today's discussion is going to be about. I have the graph here, Brandon. If you want to put it up, we can bring it up.
Okay.
So we can get y'all takes on this. So I have this. We can start from 2004 and go down. So in 2004, Brandon, I say the Los Angeles Lakers had the best roster and was the title contender, was the best team in the NBA going into 03-04 season. What do you say?
Yeah, they were clearly the most stacked team. They didn't win it, but heading into it, everyone thought it was going to be an easy title for the Lakers. They had Karl Malone, Kobe, Shaq, and Gary Payton. So that what everyone thought. You know, it played out almost that way until Karl Malone got hurt and he couldn't really perform in the finals.
Yeah, that was true. That was true.
And,
So what do you?
And also Kobe won the Finals MVP.
So Craig, what do you think? In 2004, the start of 2004 season, 03-04 season, was the Lakers the best team going into that season?
I remember that. I remember that summer like it was nothing. My whole hood was Laker fans. All we had was Lakers in 4. Man, they should just start a 3-game series. Ain't nobody going to top the Lakers. What?
Oh,
People were saying that they were going to win over 72 games.
Yeah, like it was like they gonna go 82-0. It's gonna be Shaq and Kobe fighting for league MVP. I'm like, y'all really? This ain't gonna work. Y'all hyping it this much, something's gonna happen with it. It's not gonna work. But yeah, everybody was saying the Lakers.
The Lakers. Okay. I forget what everybody was saying, but in your mind, was that the best roster going into that season? You were saying, okay,
people, yeah.
This is the team everybody has to beat to win the championship. Barring injuries, everybody's healthy. All right. What about you, Travis?
Who was on the names on the roster? Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Travis?
I mean, I obviously like that was that was one of the best examples of prime, like right as Kobe was really just entering his prime, or maybe a couple of years in, so he was at a peak of his thing. So Shaq arguably was still prime. I never bought in that they had the best roster though, because Malone and Peyton were well outside of their primes. Well. Like they were. I don't want to say they were non-factors, but they were just role players at that point. Their depth was questionable. Um, obviously, they still had key pieces like Fisher, things like that. He basically won a game for them versus the Spurs, who I also maybe thought had a better roster a year or two. But um, I think maybe you could argue still for the Spurs or the Timberwolves that year. The Timberwolves had a better record. They had a top 10 offensive defense. They had MVP Garnett, arguably his best season ever. They had guys like Sprewell, Cassell, uh, guys coming off the bench playing great or good minutes too. I mean, it was just
No, those are good. Those are good options, right? San Antonio's
Yeah.
are the defending champs, right? So that means they do have a good roster.
The
And
Lakers,
Minnesota was a very good team as far as like you said going into that season, picking up having a Sam Cassell, a Sprewell. I do remember that team. So that's a good point. Those are good point. Go ahead, Craig.
Well, a terrible point that Travis made. He said that Gary Payton and Karl Malone were role players at that point.
Yeah,
I was two
terrible.
players averaging 20 points per game the season prior are role players. Both of them averaging 20.
That was what you was going to say too, Craig. You was
I
going to go
was
ahead
going
and
to say they specifically got Carmelo and Peyton for San Antonio because San Antonio eliminated the ruination.
I don't know how two players averaging 20 points a game are role players, but
they weren't averaging 20 a game. But Malone and Peyton were combining for 27 a game.
not in real life.
No. In 2003, what was Karl Malone averaging in 2003?
2003?
Yes.
Let me check. Let's see.
Like 21.
Karl Malone was 20.6 prior to going there.
Wasn't he retired in
And-
2003?
Yeah, he was
No,
20.6 and 8 rebounds a game, and Gary Payton was averaging 20.4.
Okay, yeah. So then they joined the Lakers, and obviously they
Before
they-
that's what I'm saying. In the offseason, you tell me the Lakers are going to add 2 20-point per game scorers, Karl
I
Malone
believe
and
both
Gary Payton.
were all-star players. Let me see. Gary Payton was an all-star player, and Karl Malone made the all-star as well. So both
I
of them
think
were
Karl Malone was
all-star.
all NBA. I think Karl Malone was all NBA as well, if I'm correct, because I think Karl Malone made
Yeah.
all NBA as well. So
he made an
Travis,
All-Star in 2002, not 2003.
get out of here, Travis.
All right, yeah. Ishmael was looking at your 16. I saw it as well. I'm not sure how.
We'll get
I
there.
believe-
We're gonna get there.
Okay, we're
down
gonna
that.
get
We're
there.
gonna-
All right,
we're gonna
Ishmael,
get there.
we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Appreciate you, Ishmael. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. All right, so let's move on. We all agree 04 to a certain degree. All right, so 05. Who was the best team going into the 05
The
NBA
Mavs was
season?
supposed to be. The Mavs was supposed to be, and they lost in that first
All
round.
right, so Brandon, okay, so you say the Mavs are supposed to, all right, what about you, Craig? Who you thought?
No,
'Cause
everybody was
Shaq
saying-
had went to the East.
I
I was
think they
saying
say
the
the
trade
Heat.
when Shaq went
Yeah.
to the Heat in 05,
Uh-huh.
everybody was saying, with Wade and Shaq got another Kobe-like player that they were supposed to do something.
Damn, I didn't know we had a Kobe-like player in 2004.
You know-
I didn't know that. I didn't know the Miami Heat had that in 2004.
I mean, talk of the street where he goes from Kobe to Wade, the way Wade was rolling.
Yeah, no, Dwayne Wade was definitely again. He came out, he balled out in that playoffs in 2004. But yeah, I got you. Like I told y'all, Shaq was still the man. I keep telling y'all, Shaq actually should have won the MVP in 05. But so you say either the Heat or the Mavs or just the Heat?
I was saying the Heat. Everybody was talking about the Heat.
Okay. All right. What about you, Travis? 05. What was the team going into that 04-05 season after Detroit won the championship? What team would you say? Shaq got traded to the East. All kind of shuffling was going on in NBA. I think that's the year Steve Nash even got traded as well.
Yeah, I was
from
just
the
saying
Mavs.
you could say the Suns
Uh-huh.
just because there was a total turnaround from like the year before.
Mhm.
A lot of people had them, but I mean you could definitely say the Mavs too because that was like just before Dirk was going to win his MVP, right? And so he was like still prime.
Mhm.
I don't see an argument with the Mavs roster. It's just that there was a lot of teams back then who were, you could argue. I mean, Spurs always did not have, they were prime during that whole stretch. So, but
I don't know.
I
The Pistons, the Pistons probably would
Could have
want
a
to be.
case too.
Yeah, the Pistons because they just won the title.
Yeah, they could have had a case too because at that time Billups kind of stepped up and
And
obviously
I'm
they had
actually
structure.
looking at the NBA odds prior to that season, and it was the Spurs.
It was the
Of course.
Spurs as well. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, so let's go into 2006. Who y'all say? Y'all see who I put there? To start with you, Brandon. 2006 going into 05, 06.
For one more thing, the Lakers was the of the title odds in the preseason for the 04. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that was
We know,
correct.
but we know odds is based on gamblers and how much people are going to gamble.
But
and
that
what they
was
want.
still
Yeah, that's true. But 06,
oh
06.
But you gamble to
06.
win money, not lose money.
But they have the odds are
Nobody
set
gonna
based.
say a trash
But
team is
no,
going
but
to
odds
make
are
you win when a
set.
trash
But
team
odds
lose.
are set by the betting. So like that's how like professional gamblers could actually adjust the odds. They know that they can move
How
the
do
needle.
they dictate who to bet against? They have to
Yeah.
come with some type of formula for them to say this team is good enough for me to put my money
Yeah, and
on.
they are not trying to lose money as well. So
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
They choose. I guess they choose an initial line, and from there it moves. They just it is based on numbers, though. You're right. They do have a mathematical
so
equation.
yeah, so 06, I wouldn't say the Heat.
Okay.
I would say it was the Spurs because they just won the title as well, and they should have been the number one team going in. I would say it would be the Spurs, even though we know they never won back to back. But just going in, I believe it was the Spurs.
yeah, everybody said it was going to be a rematch of the Spurs and the Pistons.
Okay, so you think it was the Spurs too as well, Craig?
Yeah, it was the Spurs because they was talking about a rematch for the Spurs and the Pistons until the Heat beat the. Remember the Pistons was in the Eastern Conference Finals for like 6 years straight. So.
They were good. They were good. And what about you, Travis? What do you think? In 06, what team do you think was the best team?
I mean, you could definitely say I don't have a problem with it being Miami because I think Shaq added another element to that team. Obviously, they didn't win the title the year before, but that's a tough team to beat when you have Prime Wade and you have Shaq who's still giving you a double-double and he plays defense. And that team also had Gary Payton on it, Antoine Walker, more. They had all these pieces to complement that. But I mean, you could say that it was still the Spurs. I don't have a problem with that because that team was just consistently great. But I would say the Heat. If you just, I mean, on paper,
Yeah. Hey, shout out to C Dog, giving out gifts. We appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. See you in the comments. I put the Heat as well because after 05, the Heat did add what's it called? Gary Payton and I believe Jason Williams and Antoine Walker to the team, if I'm correct. And that really helped us out to really get us over the edge. And that Heat team was really, like I told you, it was a super team. It was a loaded team, front to back. It was championship or bust. That was the championship or bust year. So let's move on to the next year, right? We have this. I have the Spurs for 07. So what do you think, Brandon? Was it the Spurs as well? And from so you in 06 you had the Spurs, and you would say 07's the Spurs as well? I think they added Michael Finley or something like that to the team, if I'm correct.
I would say it would probably be the Heat because they just won it and they won it in a fashion that they dominated the last 3 games and that they probably thought that they were clearly ahead of the second best team, who was Dallas. So it would be a toss up between those two. I would go with the Heat because of how they dominate that series at the end. They won 4 straight.
Yeah, Antoine Walker came in out of shape, but but still, it was him and Posey actually got suspended going into that season because they came in out of shape. What do you think, Craig? Who was the best team in 07? Y'all can let us know in the comments, man. As we go down, we're gonna put the link up shortly, and then we'll let y'all go. We're gonna put up the link up once we get to 2014.
Before the season start, everybody said the Heat until that opening game.
Yeah, they got blew off the floor.
That opening game was wait a minute. This ain't.
Yeah, I told y'all because Antoine Walker came in. We were partying that whole summer. Shaq was so happy he got the championship over Kobe. So, what do you think, Travis?
I don't see how you don't say the Cavs, dude. Like in that series, they had the best roster I've ever seen in 2007. I mean, they had like loaded wallpaper. No, I mean, it's that roster. Like it's so tough because you said going into it, like you're like okay, like Heat had every right to think they could repeat, but who knew the Spurs were going to be so good defensively and like hold people to like 90 points a game. That was one of the best ever, especially in that era. But I mean. Roster wise, you could still say the Heat. I mean, I still think I mean, who else was really good then? I mean, Suns maybe, but
Suns. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So 08, we all got to agree, right? 08 was the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, Celtics. As soon as I got that,
So
I think back to back it was the Celtics. Like, there's no reason to say no.
right? Celtics back-to-back seasons, '09 until the Lakers ended up getting people like Ron Artest, things of that nature,
Yeah,
right? Then the
yeah,
Lakers,
yeah. I think it will. Let me see. See, the Lakers won in '09, right?
they did win in '09.
And KG got hurt, and then
Uh-huh.
'10 when the Celtics were healthy. It was a toss up between the Lakers and Celtics.
It was a toss up. It was, but adding Ron Artest gave the Lakers an extra edge, right? An extra veteran presence, and we know Ron Artest was still just he was still a good player, but he was just playing his role obviously from all his previous endeavors. But so what do you think, Craig? We just went from '08 to 2010. Do you agree with the teams here? Those were the
Oh
best
yeah,
teams.
yeah. The Lakers and the Celtics had those years locked up. It was supposed. Well, well, I would say the Celtics in '09. Really, because I remember.
They had the same team from '08. No difference. They were just more
Yeah,
veteran.
yeah. I'm just trying to think. I
You
remember
got
'09
Rondo,
because then I started remember
Allen.
the Nike commercials with Kobe and LeBron with them little puppets because everybody had them meeting in the finals in '09. That's
That,
what
that's
I.
because that's because KG got hurt. That's what happened.
Yeah, that's
KG
because they
had
got
got hurt.
hurt.
Yeah,
They got
they did
hurt.
that.
He
They
was
did
out
that
for the
for the
whole playoffs.
playoffs. Yeah,
He
he
was
was
out for
out.
the whole playoffs.
Yeah, that's what happened. So Boston
That
got
just
knocked
threw
out.
me off
Yeah,
because I remember them little commercials.
Let me
but
see.
after they
The
won. Go
betting
ahead.
odds were '09 at the beginning of the season was Boston, and the Cavs were one, two, three, four, five, sixth at the beginning of the season, sixth.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have a graph. I should have brought that graph to show the odds. I did, but like I said, I wanted to know just from a basketball fan
Yeah.
perspective, from just looking at a roster more than anything. So okay, so what about you, Travis? You agree with '08, '09, and 2010? The same teams.
Yeah,
Those were the best teams going into those seasons.
I absolutely do with that. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so 2011, we never talk about 2011 at all. I mean, it's almost like a season that didn't exist. It's almost like the '99 season in the NBA. 2011. You see who I put down, and I'm not gonna argue my case. The Lakers had the best roster going into that season as well. Although the Big Heat had assembled that year. Brandon, what do you think?
I would say it was the Heat. Everyone was saying it was the Heat. They didn't really look at the roster.
Uh huh.
Everyone was saying it's the Heat, but when you look at the roster, you know that that wasn't a well put together team. But still, the Heat should have won the title. No matter what type of roster that they put around them, they should have been able to win that title.
Yeah, I mean, again, you don't have to be the best team to be able to win a title, but
Yeah,
yeah, I got you. I got you. So, Craig, what do you think? Was it the Miami Heat?
Yeah, because we was having this talk like this the time that Kobe and LeBron can meet in the finals. Yeah, I remember once LeBron made a decision, he was like, "Oh, here we go, Lakers and Heat in the finals."
yeah.
That's true.
I
That's
actually
true.
think from
That's true.
11 to 14, it should have been the Heat. Like,
Okay.
there's no reason that they should not have won four straight.
Okay, and what about you, Travis? You agree with 2011? It's the Miami Heat.
Oh, definitely. Especially in hindsight, where statistically that team was really good. I mean, even with the role players and bench players they had, there's no way they shouldn't have. Based on what we saw now, they should have won the title pretty easily. So,
Okay, all right. So Brandon, you can put the link up so we can get some folks in. We can have a conversation with y'all. All right. So as y'all can see, I started the first 10 years of LeBron James' career. Even added 11th, which is 2014. We all agree that So besides 2011, we all agree that Heat were the best team going into those seasons, right? So in the first 11 seasons of LeBron James' career, he had 4 of the best seasons. I say 3. He won 2 NBA championships, right? So we can say there is at that point in LeBron James' career. Did he fail or was it a success at that point? 11 years, 2 championships, 5 finals, 4 league MVPs.
I wouldn't know. I would say he failed. It's like I was actually saying last night. He was drafted to a team that was bottom 5 in both offensively and defensively, and so he was expected to be the best player on both ends of the floor as soon as he got to that crappy team. And like you said, they didn't really make a lot of moves for him.
I'm on. Somebody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, Kobe. Give us a sec. Go ahead, Travis. Finish up.
Yeah, they didn't make a lot of moves for him too, and like they put some like ancillary pieces around him. But to say that you expected him to really, especially during that first 7-year stretch, that you expected him to, win 2 or 3 rings is just kind of asinine because he didn't have the roster to compete, especially with the people who were coming out of the West. and the best teams in the East there. But he was he was literally basically contributing 20, 30 wins to that team just by his presence alone. But I don't think he underachieved. Like you could see his dominance by his MVPs and all, defensive selections, things like that. So it's just tough to say he underachieved there.
All right, true. I see all y'all in the comments, man. Thanks y'all for joining us again. We're talking LeBron James's playoffs, whether he had achieved or overachieved. We're discussing who are the best teams throughout LeBron James' career going into the NBA season. We're adding you guys to it. The left-hand side shows 04 to 2013. The right-hand side shows 2014 to 2023. As we all know, 2024 best roster is the Boston Celtics. Shout out to you, True to King TV. What's good, bro? Thank you for joining us, man. So listen, we got a full panel here. Thank you guys. We're gonna give you guys a chance to speak here shortly. So we got to 2014, and obviously LeBron left the Heat at that time. So Brandon, at that time after 2014, was LeBron James have a GOAT resume? I know you said you thought he was the GOAT since 2012. Did he have a GOAT resume? Did he overachieve?
The resume, no. Resume, no. But
resume? Uh-huh.
yeah, I wasn't going off the resume, but just looking at what LeBron could do on the court, I don't think no one in NBA history could do what LeBron could have done. That's why I say that he was the greatest player that I've seen at that time. I think Kobe's the third greatest player that I've ever seen at that time, and his resume is nowhere near top three. So Kobe was great still. But just looking at just following up with everything that you have through 15. I was looking at the odds in 16, and it actually was the Cavs. I wouldn't say it was the Cavs. I would still say it was Golden State. But just looking at the rest of everything, I believe the only other thing that may not be, a mix is probably the 21 Lakers. They thought they improved their roster enough to win the title, but that's when LeBron got hurt and AD got hurt in the playoffs. So.
But wasn't that the year that they added Harden as well, though, right? That's when Harden went to the Knicks, correct? That offseason.
Yeah, but that was during the season.
All right, we're gonna get everybody's takes. We're gonna get here shortly. So I'll explain the 2016 Cavs and why I got them there. We'll go down the line because I just want to hear everybody's takes on the early half of LeBron's career. So Craig, after 2014, 2 championships, was that overachievement or underachievement for LeBron James at that point? And this is before he leaves Miami. This is just after they lose to the Spurs. You don't know what's gonna happen, but what would you say at that point in his career? Was it an overachievement, underachievement?
Well, pretty much, it was. He probably. I would say he thought he overachieved. That's what made him leave to go back to Cleveland and see if he could bring another title to them. Because a player is not going to leave a team he just won 2 championships with if he didn't think he'd done enough. So he thought so I have to agree with what he thinks.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I do believe he left because he wanted to win a championship for Cleveland. So I don't argue with you there. All right, so we got some guys here on the panel, man. Thanks again. We got some regulars. We see Twin Man. We see Blue Boat. I see DJ Killer, right? I think that's what that says there. What's good, bro? I see you again. Thank you. And I think it says New World at the bottom. Let's start with you, DJ. Tell us on the left side, was there any teams that you disagree with or you think we should have mentioned for those years as far as being the best team going into those seasons?
No, I agree with all the left-hand side. I agree with that.
You do? Okay. All right. So we'll move on and we'll get to the right side. Let's get Twin Man. Take Twin Man. I know you got something to say. Make it quick, brother. The left side. What do you think of the left side? Is there any team missing, or you agree with this? Should we have added any other teams?
I agree with the left side, but I disagree with Craig and Travis and Brandon saying that the Heat were the best team in 2011. I disagree with that.
No, I'm not saying that they were the best team, but going into that season, they thought that the Heat should have won the title. Everyone thought the Heat should have won a title.
It basically saying that they should have won the title. Yeah. They should have won.
As soon as you look at the roster, you realize they were not the well put together team, but those 3 players should have been able to win an NBA title, which they obviously should have.
Yeah, that's what he said. So you agree with all these teams?
One more thing, I think one of those Pistons teams should have been on there.
In 05?
05, probably. Yeah, 05.
I think 05 the Pistons should have been there.
I mean, I think in 07 they added Chris Webber. Remember I told you that, Brandon? We remember that Chris
Yeah,
Webber
they
was
added Chris Webber and
on
got
the
rid of
07 team.
and they got rid of Ben Wallace. So it's not like they really upgraded.
Yep. Yo, shout out to you, Christopher. That's right. Lakers in 7, y'all. Lakers in 7. All right, so let's get New World. You are new to the platform and first time hearing you. You hear what we're talking. What do you think of the left side? Are there any teams missing? Do you agree with these teams?
Can you hear me, man?
Yeah, we can hear you well.
Okay.
Shout out, guys. I love the show. But yeah, I agree with your left side of the list. I agree with Twin Man. I think the Pistons should probably be up there. 05. But other than that, I definitely agree with this list.
All right, thank you, appreciate that. All right, Blue Boat, this is your turn. What do you think of that side, and do you think any teams were left out?
Hey, shout out, salute to the panel. Y'all dudes doing a nice job as always. Good job as always, brother. You know what I mean? Lakers in 04, I agree with. Like 05 to 07 gets kind of tricky, and 11, you know what I mean? Because 05, I think I'm going to have to go with the Phoenix Suns. That might sound kind of off kilter, but you got to think about what the Phoenix Suns were. They had Amari Stoudemire, Steve Nash, an MVP candidate, you know, even though it's a controversial pick. Sean Marion, Joe Johnson, Jim Jackson, you know what I mean, a veteran. Angel Barbosa. Oh, man.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. I thought about them as well. I really did think about them as well, but nobody really knew how good Nash was gonna affect that offense with Dan and Tony going into the season. And Amari was young, and I believe Marion was still young as well. So but you're right though. They did have a good roster. They did put a good roster together. So I do agree with you. That's a good take. That's a really good take. Let's get your take in, Ishmael. What do you think of the left side as far as the first 10 years of LeBron James? You agree with these teams were the best teams going into each respectable season? Are you there, Ishmael?
Yeah. Hey, can I say that? Hello? My fault.
Okay, go ahead, Blue Bolt. Go ahead real quick.
Now, one more thing about 11. I disagree about the Lakers, too. This might sound far-fetched, but I think it was the Mavericks. Think about it. They had that good... Yeah, because they had
going into the season.
I won't say that. Going into the season, I won't say
going into the season, not the end results. Now, remember, we're talking about...
No. I'm talking about... Remember, like 2010, they had that good start, and then when Dirk went down, that's when they kind of like came back to the back a little bit. But look it up. Mavericks were like maybe 18-1 or something like that.
In 2010, you're saying in the 2010 season.
Yeah, 2010 to 2011. Right.
Yeah, we can look that up. Yeah, appreciate that.
In 2011, the odds for them to win a title, they were number 7 for the Mavs.
Yeah, no, the Mavs were known for choking at that point. Nobody really thought that the Mavs were going to be title contenders, even though you said they did have a good roster. Now, I'm not going to argue that, but no one, especially, like I said, after the Heat got together, everybody was like, well, who's the only team that could beat the Heat? Everybody said it was the Lakers. That was the only team.
The Lakers, the Celtics.
Yeah. And the Celtics.
Right,
and then,
right.
Yeah, no.
I guess what I'm referring to. Yeah. I guess what I'm referring to is like, as the season, you know, the early part of the season, you know what I mean, instead of projections and all that stuff, that's what I'm going by. But I hear what you say. I hear what y'all saying, though.
Yeah, no, you're on point because it is about the roster. We're actually asking about rosters, not predictions and betting odds. We're just adding the betting odds so that we can all understand. So we can all understand the time frame, the zeitgeist at that time.
Right.
So, I appreciate that.
My fault for interrupting. I just wanted to make that one point real quick.
Nah, man. You always appreciate it, Blue Boat, man. That's what the whole show is about. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're not like these other fools who's scared to let people up and let them give their takes. Your job is to come up here and talk like a basketball fan. You did your job, man. We appreciate it. We are GOAT James Kingdom, bro. We talk basketball. Good job, Blue Boat. Go ahead, Ishmael. Your turn, brother.
Can you ask? I kind of...
Yeah, no, the left side. You see the teams that we pick. We're picking teams, and in the start of that season, were considered the best rosters going into that season.
Are you saying the start of the season?
Yeah,
beginning of the season. Going into that season, who had the best roster? Constructed the best roster.
Yeah, on the left side, I would agree. I mean, 2011, they had a lot of pieces for 2011, even in the beginning of the season. Like, it's kind of hard to say, like, just one team for 2011 was the best team, but I would say, like, I agree mostly with the left side. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So again, like I said, this is LeBron's first 10, 11 years. He only had the best team for some of y'all, and four. Some of y'all say three. He won 2 NBA championships. He was a 4-time league MVP. He definitely was headed to the Hall of Fame. This is where the GOAT conversation truly started being spoke for LeBron James, because people saw the future. They put all kind of expectations on him since he was in the league, and they put more after 2014. So he goes to the Cavaliers, and it's 2015. Now the reason I say the Spurs is because that's the ascension of Kawhi Leonard. They still had Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili. They still had a solid roster. I don't think that the Cavs were the better team. I don't see no other NBA team going into that season that anybody could say had a actual decent roster that you felt comfortable to say was going to win a championship, but the Spurs. Now, 2016, the reason I give it to the Cavs is because that is the year they solidified, because I believe in 2015 they traded for Armand Shumpert and Richard Jefferson during the middle of the season. Am I correct?
No, Iman was on the 15 team.
Huh?
You said Iman was on the 2015 team.
But wasn't Iman?
Him and JR was on 2015.
They were both on the team from the beginning of the season.
In 2015?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, were they traded in the offseason or during the season?
During the season.
That's what I'm saying. They were traded during the season. That's what I'm saying. They were traded to the team during the season. So the start of 2016, the Cavs had that roster. That was the full roster, adding Shumpert, Richard Jefferson, I believe, was on the team as well, added. So that addition, although the Warriors had a good team and they were the champions, everybody thought that was a kind of a fluke type of a thing. No one really gave Klay Thompson, Draymond Green their props, and all these other guys. So I gave it to the Cavs. So this is a big.
Yeah, everybody said the Cavs would have won.
Everybody thought it was the Cavs was going to win in 2015. Everybody thought they was going to win in 2015.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about prediction. I'm just talking about the actual roster.
When Kyrie and Kevin Love come back, they gonna win the title. That's the reason why they lost.
No, but I'm just saying, but going into 2015, they had just traded for Kevin Love. They didn't really have that championship roster. They had a new head coach in Blatt, who was a European coach.
Yeah, you talking about the 2016 Cavs after they lost because Kevin Love and Kyrie got hurt in the finals.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, going into that next season, going into the 2016 season, the Cavs had the best roster. So let's start with you, Travis. You agree with that as well, or no?
I definitely do, because I mean, obviously the Warriors were the champions there, but the Kevin Love was like an MVP candidate like 1 or 2 years before that, right? And he was had like a historic season, so everyone thought he was going to be coming into he was like a top 5 in that position. Same thing with Kyrie Irving; his expectations were sky high. Then you had LeBron, who was better than anyone on the Warriors at that point. So I mean, I'd say they had the best roster, and I mean deservedly so. Their bench was decent, so I mean it was a toss-up to me, but I agree with that. They had the best roster in my opinion.
Remember, the Warriors' run was due to injuries on every opponent they faced in the playoffs. So they only won because the best player on every team got hurt, or one of the best players.
All right, hey DJ. So what do you think, DJ? Was it the 2016 Cavs? Were they the team?
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with everybody on that.
You agree with that? All right, Twin, what about you? You agree with that? Are you there, Twin Man?
I'm sorry. I think the Warriors had the better roster.
You think the Warriors had the best team in 2016? Again, it's a toss-up, but all right. So it's the Warriors. And what about you, New World? Do you think it was the Warriors or the Cavs?
It was definitely the Cavs, because we saw LeBron take them to 6 games. I don't think a lot of people really believed in the Warriors, regardless of what you're looking at on paper. What team might have been better. No one believed in the Warriors after LeBron took them to 6 games. So the Cavs definitely, when they had a healthy Kyrie and Kevin Love going into the next season, that was the best team.
All right. And what about you, Blue Boat? What do you think about 2016?
Hey, Johnny, I just need clarification. Were you talking about 2015 or 2016?
2016, going in from 2015 to 2016. So the off season of 2015, which is the summer, it was the Cavs. That's what I'm saying. With that roster that they had, like I said, okay, yeah, all right, I agree with you. What about you, Ishmael? Did Blue Boat get his? Yeah, Blue Boat got his chance to speak just now, right? So it's your turn.
No, not yet.
All right, my bad. All right, okay, my bad.
You good. What I was gonna say was 2015 going to 2016 was kind of, Yeah, it was kind of confusing, but I would slightly give it to the Cavs. But the Warriors have proved it. Whether or not you believe they wouldn't have won with all those players not hurt, but at the same time, you got to give respect to the champs. They got it done. But at the same time, Cavs roster was fully equipped by that time to make a title run. So I would slightly give it to the Cavs in 2016.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Slightly.
Listen, I think the Warriors solidified themselves as a team in 2016 during that regular season because Klay Thompson made All-NBA. This guy, Draymond Green, made All-NBA and the All-Defensive team. Stephen Curry obviously was unanimous MVP. They had the 73-win season. So they definitely were solidified in the eyes
but
of
what I'm saying is that it wasn't like a clear-cut Cavs, 2016 because you still had the Warriors as champs. You know what I mean? And even though most people thought Cavs was going to win the previous year of Kevin Love and Kyrie, everything get hurt. Mm-hmm. A lot of people remember 2015, Steph Curry, that was his first MVP. Remember that seed?
Yeah, no.
2015.
Yeah, 2015.
It was down by 20 in the first game until whatchamacallit won it.
What happened?
But no,
they wouldn't even made the finals of Kawhi Leonard would have.
He says that they would have lost to the Spurs. That's what
2015? 2015 Spurs?
No, 2016. The 2016 Spurs would have beaten that. The 2016 Spurs won 67 games, if I'm correct.
But they lost to the OKC Thunder. They lost to the Thunder, remember?
No, they lost to
I'm talking about
Warriors.
2015 when San Antonio was defending their championship and Kawhi got hurt.
What?
That was 2015 or 2016?
No. He didn't get hurt.
17.
He didn't get hurt either year. It was just that the Spurs ran into a hard Clippers team.
That was 2017.
The Clippers. It was.
In 2015, Harden. No, it was Chris Paul got hurt, I believe.
Oh, okay.
No. Chris Paul.
Who got hurt? It was somebody from Houston, I thought, got hurt. In 2015.
It was Dwight. It was Dwight that got hurt. Hurt his back. Remember?
Somebody got hurt on the. It was a point guard. A point guard got hurt in the 2015 playoffs.
Tony Parker.
I could have sworn it was Chris Paul.
I thought it was Mike Conley.
It might have been Tony.
Mike Conley. It was
Mike Conley.
Mike Conley. It was Mike Conley. My fault.
Yeah.
Mike Conley.
Okay. No, but you know what though? Another thing I think we forget is that going into that season, Kyrie was coming off of that kneecap injury, so he was not actually available early in 2016 season. He was actually out for
He came back in December.
Yeah. So, but again, we all knew with the roster once we knew Kyrie was coming back and they were going to be healthy. So we all again 20. It was either the Warriors or the Cavs. I gave it to the Cavs, but it could have been either or. Ishmael, your take, brother. What do you think of 2016? The team going into that season. Are you there, Ishmael?
Yeah. Hello. Yeah, I don't think the Cavs had the most talented championship roster. I mean, to me, that year it was too many options to just say the Cavs. You had Houston Rockets with James Harden. Then you had I always thought the upcoming OKC, like the Thunder with Kevin Durant and Westbrook, were like a caliber championship team, and the Spurs were still like with their team chemistry was like really good. I just don't see like the Cavs were to me like. They were contenders, but I don't see them like as they were defined as like, okay, they're going to be definitely like number one. They definitely going to win the championship. I just didn't see that.
I mean, they were going to win the championship with LeBron James.
They
LeBron
lost
James as
the
well.
Warriors with LeBron James by himself. So adding Kevin Love and Kyrie, that's all he needed, and that's exactly what happened.
Most times when LeBron James won a title, he never has the best roster. Has LeBron ever had the best roster? He just LeBron is so dominant. That's why he wins.
Yeah,
you never have the best roster.
That's the point of this whole thing of this idea of LeBron overachieving or underachieving is that we're at 2016 and we're still counting whether or not LeBron James had whether or not he doesn't even have 40%.
Yeah, I didn't. Every time they played the Spurs and Golden State, the Spurs and Golden State had a better roster. Like that's never been a thing. Like we're saying LeBron is going to win because he's LeBron James. He has pieces to help him win to beat better rosters. Not
I
that.
just didn't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't see him. I didn't see that team as like, oh yeah, they're gonna win the championship. Like, no, it was just so many. It was so many
No,
teams that
they added
lost.
some pieces. Like I said, when you trade for Shumpert and you trade for J.R. Smith
J.R.
the year prior, then you add, like I said, a Richard Jefferson. They kind of, like I said, I think they added Channing Frye as well. They kind of helped solidify that 2015 team, just like the Heat did in 05. The 05 Heat team was really, really good when you get Shaq and you bringing it in, but then that next season you add just a little bit extra pieces. It makes the team just a little bit better. So from there, as you can see, we know the Warriors were the best team the next 3 years. The reason I have the Clippers there, right, in 2020 is because
They were supposed to win.
yeah, exactly. The disbandment of the Warriors, right? Plus Klay Thompson not being able to be there for 2020, right? And then you have LeBron leaving the East, right? Opening out the East wide open, because then you even have Kawhi Leonard leaving Toronto. But again, the Clippers was considered the title favorites. They got Paul George. They went and got all these guys, Lou Williams. They had a team. They were the team. They were the favorites. Before all that, beyond just the favorites, they had the best roster. In 2021, it was the same thing. We all remember the famous footage from RCW World, where they was like playing with LeBron after they won the championship, and he got the phone call, and they was like, yo, Harden's coming to the Nets. And he was like, yo, I'm 36. I'm not Thanos. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why is
Harden
everybody...
came in the middle of the season. He didn't come in the
middle.
beginning of this 21 season. He came in the
He
middle.
wasn't in the beginning. It wasn't in the beginning of the season.
He played for the Rockets, remember? And he came in out of shape, partying, not wanting to go to training camp.
He was still in the Rockets.
Oh yeah, I remember that now.
Yo, Johnny, he wanted to get traded. Like he wanted to get traded that year, but they just weren't going to do it at first.
Okay, so let's start with this, because I put the Nets, because this is why I say the NBA is so great, because as of the disbandment of the Warriors and starting in 2020, the NBA teams, there was a lot of evenness, a lot of equalness. There wasn't too many teams that were greater than the other. So I say it was the Nets. Let's start with you, Brandon. Anybody else do you think was in 21?
That was clearly the Lakers. The Lakers won a title. They improved their roster. They thought they was going to have an easier route to the title at the beginning of the year.
Okay, so you say Lakers.
And during the year before LeBron got hurt, they were the best team in the league, basically. And LeBron was the MVP. Like, it was clearly the Lakers.
All right, and then finish out the rest of the years. Do you agree with the Bucks, or is there any other teams? Do you think?
Finishing out the year, I would have said the Nets.
No, I'm saying like finish out 2020.
Oh, finish out
the rest of the years. Yeah.
Bucks should have came number one in 2022 and 23. That's when Denver won it, but Denver wasn't considered the best team.
Bucks was considered.
So I'm going to say.
I would say the Celtics.
I would say Golden State.
No,
after winning the championship,
the Bucks was considered the best team.
I would say 23 is the Celtics.
No, you got to remember.
Same here.
23 was the season that the Bucks got put out the first round.
Wait, did the Warriors win in 22, right?
Yeah. They did.
Nobody
the Warriors won in 22. They didn't
come back out the East.
Yeah, the Warriors did not drop off or anything. They basically came in with the same roster.
Well, no, that was wasn't that the summer Draymond Green punched Jordan Poole? Yeah, he punched Jordan Poole that summer, isn't it?
That was going into that season.
Are you sure 23 wasn't the 76ers, since they had James Harden and Joel Embiid, the MVP?
No.
That's a good one too.
Well,
I mean,
I'm gonna say Golden State.
Think about it. Summer, Daryl Morey was a liar, so we just gave up on the Sixers.
Let's let everybody get a chance. Here's the
thing. Warriors won in 2022, right?
Yes.
But the prevailing thought was that they were kind of approaching the end of their prime, and the Boston had the youngest roster. They had the best roster from 1 through 15. So 23, I would say, is the Celtics. After they made it to the finals, you know what I mean? They even though they lost to Golden State, the prevailing thought was they got the young and up-and-coming roster. For like 1 to 15, Tatum, Brown, all those guys, Marcus Smart back then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, defensive player of the year. Williams was supposed to be Robert Williams was supposed to come into his form, and all these other guys. I got you. All right. So let's let Travis in, and then let's see what Travis says. So Travis, in 2021, to finish out, what do you agree with or disagree with here? From 2021 and on.
I mean, No, I agree with on paper the Clippers were absolutely loaded. Like you had Kawhi Leonard, he was coming off an injury, and he was supposed to be bounced back, and him and Paul George were. I remember the hype for that team was ridiculous, and rightfully so. It's just unfortunate they had Doc Rivers, like the worst choke artist of a coach of all time, like guiding them there, and like they also had 22 and 23. I mean, you could definitely say the Bucks. That was prime Giannis was winning DPOY and MVP. So, yeah, I mean, also you could say, yeah, you could definitely see the Celtics last year because they were playing at such a high, like last half of the season. I don't really have a problem with it saying the Bucks. I think the Nuggets would have been the favorites if, like, at the beginning of that season, though, if you would have said Jamal Murray wouldn't miss that much time, because Jokic was clearly the best player for like the last 2 years, debatably. But I mean, yeah, I don't really have an issue though with the Bucks. And I'd say maybe the Celtics though, but everything else looks good.
Okay. All right. And what about you, DJ? What do you think? Do you think these are the right teams from 2020 and beyond?
I probably will lean Lakers in 2020. At that time, yeah, the Clippers, you had Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and then Patrick Beverly and Lou Williams. I don't think they were a better overall roster than the Lakers. When you look at the Clippers in 2020, they were only equipped to beat the Lakers. That's why they lost to Denver that year. So I would say the Lakers in 2020. I agree with the Nets. I think I agree with the Bucks in 22 and 23. Even though I think the Celtics in 23, I wouldn't argue it either. So Celtics or Bucks in 2023, but I pretty much agree with that.
So that's crazy that y'all saying the Celtics and the Bucks, right? Because I do agree with you; they were the best rosters. But this offseason, that before this season came, they both did blockbuster trades to actually make their teams better. It's crazy. So we got Twin Man next. Twin Man, you there? Twin Man, you gotta be paying attention to the show. We're gonna move on. I think New World, you got a chance to come in. Do you agree with 2020 and beyond?
For the most part, I do think that the Lakers were a better roster than the Clippers. Because we had JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard at the center spot. But I also think that the Clippers got so much hype just because it's a Kawhi LeBron matchup, and they've matched up in the finals a couple times. So I think they really just got the hype just because LeBron was also in LA. Like, I really don't think the Clippers were as good as everybody thought, and that's exactly why they lost to the Nuggets. It wasn't because of Doc Rivers. Like, you can't blame Doc Rivers when Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Lou Williams get outscored by Jamal Murray in the closeout game. You can't blame Doc Rivers for that.
Oh, shots fired! I hear you there.
Blame him for 76ers though.
Hey, I got no problem with that.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, man. Shout out to GOAT James. Chris, man. Appreciate you, brother. Yes, y'all. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Share the content. This is the GOAT James Kingdom Show with B. Lee and A. Johnny. It is Sunday afternoon. The playoffs actually are about to start very shortly. The Knicks are going to be playing against Philadelphia 76ers. Game 4. Is Joel Embiid suspended or not? He's playing? There's no suspension for what he did? No, nobody knows? No? So he's
not suspended.
He's
He's
not
not
suspended.
suspended.
Okay, he's not suspended. All right, so Ishmael, let's get your take, and then we're gonna let John get in, and then we're gonna close this out so we can open up with the real point of all of this. Ishmael, what is your take between 2020 and beyond?
I agree because on the simple fact I didn't back then. So so I would just say I agree, and I do understand, like, Kawhi going to the Clippers and everything. There was a lot of hype around it, and the Nets, I guess because was Kevin Durant on the team, and then it was Kyrie Irving, right around
and
that
they
time.
added James Harden came eventually.
Yeah.
They added James Harden. Yeah.
The Bucks. I don't know too much about that. But yeah, I can agree with that.
All right. So, Twin Man, you got up right quick. I'm gonna let you get the last take, John, before I break down the whole point of this. What is your take, Twin Man, on the 2020 and beyond teams?
I think the Lakers were the best team in 2020. Before COVID really took over, the Lakers really was the best team in the league.
Wow.
2020.
No, go ahead.
I think 2021, I can agree with that Nets pick. I think 22, even though the Warriors won it, I think Boston was the best team. I think Boston had the best roster. And I think I can agree with 2023 that Bucks pick.
Okay. All right. Who's over there? Is that you, Ishmael, with your phone vibrating? Either way, listen. All right, so we're gonna let King John come in. I find it weird that y'all saying the 2020 Lakers had the best roster when people were saying that the Lakers should have never traded away that young talent to help LeBron James have a better roster for 2020.
They got AD,
John,
bro.
So John,
what they saying was they was a little dicey about the trade because of AD history of injuries. Was it worth it?
No, they were saying that LeBron James can't make nobody better. That's why he trades young talent away to get proven talent like a AD, like a Howard, like a Rondo, and these guys. They're the reason why the Lakers are better, not because of LeBron. That's what they.
Can I say something about that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So what people don't realize is that when LeBron first got to the Lakers, they were the 4th seed. I don't know if these media pundits and all Skip Bayless and they want to gloss over that, but they were the 4th seed before he got hurt. So I just wanted to throw that in there real quick. So
yeah, and then when he came back, that's when he said we're gonna hit playoff mode, but they couldn't really make that stride. That groin injury really kind of lingered, as you could tell. It actually lingered for like another 2 years, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he had that for a while. Even
yeah, he did. All right. Hey, shout out to you, Cuba. Thanks for becoming a new member of the channel. Make sure you reach out to us. Again, all GOAT James Kingdom members, reach out to us at goatjameskingdom@gmail.com or goatjameskingdomshow@gmail.com. We can definitely get in contact with you and we can conversate. Thank you so much, Cuba. We appreciate that. Thank you. All right, so John, we were talking LeBron James overachieving or underachieving. You know, they always say that LeBron James should have more than 4. 4 out of 21 is not enough. 4 out of 20 is not enough. 4 and 6, blah, 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 blah. On top of that, we're talking about having the best roster going in to be able to win a championship in a year-in and year-out basis. So we did it for LeBron's last 21 seasons. These are the teams that I listed that were the best teams going into each respective seasons. So do you see any team that I'm missing here or you don't agree with? And what is your take on LeBron overachieving or underachieving?
I think he was spot on. I think he was spot on every team. People forget that 2020 Clippers team going into the season, they were supposed to be reminding people of the 96 Bulls because they had Kawhi, Paul George, Patrick Beverly, so they supposed to have a perimeter defense that was crazy. They had Lou Will coming off the bench, and I forget the big man name. They had won 6. No, the big man, the one with the dreads.
Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah, Montrezl Harrell.
Montrezl Harrell, yeah.
Coming off the bench. So they had depth, and it's like they had all the answers for the Lakers. So the Clippers had everything. And then in 21, KD was coming off that injury. So you end up trading Harden to the Nets. And, I mean, they had the squad ready. And I don't know why everybody keep thinking of the Celtics because, remember, they were still too young. They were still too young. The Bucks was perfect at that time. They was in their prime. Middleton ended up getting hurt in 22, so that's why y'all forgetting. So
and then Giannis got hurt in 23. Yeah,
Giannis got hurt in 23. So that y'all ain't remembering that right there. So he was perfect on every team from 2020 down. It was perfect. And
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And then talking about LeBron overachieving, I mean, who in the modern era went to 8 straight finals? If that ain't overachieving, what is? I mean, I know LeBron.
Winning all 8 of them, that's overachieving.
Shout out to Marlon Malcolm, a GOAT James Kingdom member. He put Weedhead Harold. I do remember Montrezl Harrell. I really do remember that man. That man was hilarious.
He was perfect for that team. Him and Lou Will came off their bench and they caused trouble for everybody.
The Clippers was only built to beat the Lakers. They had no answer for any other team but the Lakers. That's the whole. They think if they could just get to the Lakers in the conference finals, they can make the finals. They was not built to win the championship. I don't know why he keep saying that.
Can I ask a question real quick before I get out of here? This pertaining to 2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that
Kawhi spurned the Lakers because they was thinking about getting Kawhi on the Lakers. That's the whole reason why it was a whole big thing with Kawhi on the Clippers because he spurned the Lakers.
But here's the thing I want to know. why all of a sudden people act like that Lakers team in 2020 wasn't going to win a championship? They refer to it as the bubble chip and asterisk and all that stuff. And they act like they didn't have the best record in the Western Conference and they had X amount of win streaks. Now, all of a sudden, now, years later, it's a bubble. But if any other team would have won that championship, you think they'd be saying the same thing?
No.
The media, bro.
Of course
Well,
not.
no, it's because nobody was saying that like during the bubble, like before the Lakers were even in the Western Conference Finals. Like you could hear the narratives, everybody saying, "Oh, the Clippers, it's their championship to lose." Everybody was hyped on the Clippers, man. Like nobody was saying that it was going to be an asterisk. Yeah, it's literally a bandwagon thing because they all hopped on it as soon as the Clippers lost. That's when everybody starts saying, "Oh, it's an asterisk. Oh, LeBron's gonna get a Mickey Mouse." Like that's when that started happening.
Right. But here's the thing: like under normal circumstances, let's say the pandemic don't happen, 2020 playoffs go on as is. Do the Lakers still win the championship?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. That's facts. They were dominating everyone. Like before the pandemic happened, they beat the Clippers and the Bucks in the same weekend, and they were on like a winning streak at the same time. So yeah.
I actually think the pandemic hurt LeBron James MVP. I think he wins MVP if it wasn't for the pandemic.
No, that's actually that's a good point.
Yeah,
you think so?
LeBron James had just started hitting this drive and it was going. The Lakers were going. They was number one in the West.
So you think he beats out Giannis for the MVP that year? Even
he was still in my eyes, he was still the best player in the league at the time. In 2020, he was still the best.
Well, they dropped games in the bubble too that they wouldn't have dropped if they were still able to continue that win streak that they were on before the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, under normal circumstances, y'all think Lakers win the title anyway? I'm asking everybody this.
AD don't get a 5 months layover for between the first game and the last game of the bubble. So AD was the big thing. You give AD 5 months, they win a championship every year.
AD wasn't hurt though, so that don't. If he was hurt, it'd be different. If he was hurt, it'd be different. He wasn't hurt. He wasn't hurt.
Well, I'm saying it's bro.
So Blue Blow,
season, that was the last season he played the most games with the Lakers.
Blue Blow, before you go, so how many seasons out of the 21 seasons LeBron James played did he had the best roster going into that season?
I'd say maybe you got it right. 4. I'd say 4. 4 out of them 20 seasons.
All right, thank you so much. So you can stay as long as you want. That's the whole point of the show because we put.
But salute to everybody, man. I'm about to get out of here, man. But salute to everybody, man. Salute to Pat. Y'all doing a good job.
All right, thanks for coming on, Blue.
Thank you, Blue. Appreciate
Take it easy. Take it easy.
So the poll question is in the group chat, in the show chat. I asked, how many seasons was GOAT James on the best roster in the league? So we put 4, 6, 10, and more than 10. 69 out of the 71, 69% out of the 71 votes are saying 4. We have 10% saying 6, 1% saying 10, and we basically have 20% saying more than 10 times. So let's start with you, Brandon. How many seasons did LeBron James go into a season with the best roster out of 20?
I don't think LeBron ever had the best roster. I think the best roster and better team is different, to be honest with you, because the pieces were LeBron was just a better player. That doesn't mean he had a better roster. LeBron James has never had a better roster than any team going into the NBA.
Okay, well, no, but predicated on the things that we
just who should he have won the title basically? Not
the better team, the better team,
the better team.
How many times LeBron James going into the season?
Had the better team. Okay, I think those 4 Heat, the 4 Heat teams, he had the better team.
Okay, and then
I believe it was the 15 and the 16 Cavs that he had the better team. So that's 6
seasons.
And I believe the 21 season, I believe he had the better team.
So 7 out of his 21 season, a third of his career, he had what you consider the best team in the season going into the season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Craig went on mute. Let's go with you, Travis. What do you think, Travis? How many times during LeBron James' career, how many seasons did he have the best roster or best team going into the season?
I mean, so I agree with Brandon. Like, it's tough to say when who had the best team, but I mean, just on paper, I think that even if they didn't have the most depth, I think that they had the best roster in 2011 and for sure in 2013 because what you lost from Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, as far as production you gained, like you had some key pieces there like Ray Allen, You had like Richard Lewis, all these people who they added to give them depth. I don't think there's any way you could argue that wasn't the best team in 2013. 2011 was you still had a prime, you still have prime weight, and they added pieces there that I think are overlooked. 2016 as well. I agree with you that I think they had on paper what should have been the best team. But other than that, you could definitely. I don't see how you could say that they definitively had the best team going into any of the season. Like Brandon just said, they see LeBron James on a roster like, okay, that's the best team, regardless of the supporting cast. I think sometimes.
So it's 5 years for you. You said 20,
I think it's
24,
I think it's
20, six. No, he said 2011 to 2014. Right?
Well, I said 2011 and 2013.
Oh, so you don't count 2012? What about 2012?
I don't count 2012 because I think they didn't really add too many pieces there, if any, and I think Dwayne Wade regressed a little bit.
Okay.
That's when I think they bumped it up a little bit in 13 there to support.
So you say 4 then. So it's 2011, 2013, 2016, and 2021 with Brandon? Is that what you said?
Yes. Correct.
So that's 4 years. All right, so that's 4 years. What up, Ralph? Thanks for joining us. It's good to see you, brother.
Yo,
Craig,
what's going on?
Craig, let's get your take. We'll get to you shortly, Ralph. Craig, let's get your take on this. How many of the 21 seasons LeBron James had did he go into the seasons with the best roster or the best team?
I would say no more than 5 if you want to be absolutely. But I would say no more than 5 because, like I said, the Heat run is up for debate. Well, I would say, honestly, I would say all 4 seasons. Like, there's no way you leave a team and go to another team like that and not have thinking of the best roster. Okay. That wasn't done before, where you had 2 players that was leading other teams decide to join another player that led his own team on one roster.
Especially a back-to-back league MVP. Only time we had something similar to that was Moses Malone. So let's go with you, King John. King John, what do you think? Well, how many seasons did LeBron have the number 1 team or the best team going into the season?
I think 2013 was his first season he had the best roster going into the league, because I think everybody's forgetting about OKC with AD, Russ, and James Harden. And I believe the only reason they got the best roster in 2013 is because they traded James Harden. Because I think OKC had the best roster up until then. Remember, they had just played OKC in the finals. So
OKC,
what?
I mean, I'm saying they had the best roster.
Was it
all those games were close, though. I mean, I know people don't like close games anymore, but all those games were close. They were just decided by LeBron.
It was 4.
Remember, OKC won game 1.
It was 4-1.
James Harden was James Harden at that
OKC
time.
won game 1, and then Miami swept it from there.
So how many seasons? You gave me 1 season. What other season you got? Any other season LeBron had? So 1 out of 21. That's why I like you, John. That's why I like you. All right, let's go, Ishmael. Your turn, brother. How many seasons do you give LeBron? Let's make it as quick as possible.
The best, LeBron James with the best roster. No argument for sure. The best roster. I would give him 3 seasons. That's it.
3 seasons. Okay. And,
Miami Heat 2012, 2013, 2014. That's pretty much that. That's no argument, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And what about you, New World? How many years from LeBron?
About 4, no more than 5. 2012, 13, 14, and debatably 15 and 16.
Ooh, okay. All right.
And 2020 as well. I really do think that the Lakers had the best roster.
I mean, 2020 is kind of odd because, you do add Dwight Howard and Rondo, but a lot of people didn't want those 2 guys. You guys forget that dude Dudley was saying he's one of the best players on the Lakers rosters in 2020.
Y'all forget that Dwight Howard
That's true.
Dwight Howard was cut by Memphis that year.
Yeah.
In 2020.
No, we all know what's going on.
No, they had Danny Green though, but they did
teams now.
They added AD. They did add AD. They did add AD. They did bring in Danny Green. They did bring in a good roster. It wasn't a bad roster, but again, the question marks. A lot of people still thought
a
that
hella roster.
Yeah,
I mean, they had JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee's a champion. So, I mean, they had a good roster on their squad.
No, they did. No, they did. But we were talking about who had the best roster going into that season. A lot of people thought the Clippers as well. So I mean, again, it's not a horrible take to say the Lakers. It's not a horrible take. So let's go to you, DJ. How many seasons will LeBron James go into the season he with the best roster or the best team?
I would say 3. 2013 Heat, 2016 Cavs, and 2020 Lakers.
Somebody have to explain to me that 2016.
Oh my gosh!
The Cavs had the best roster. Somebody.
I agree. 2016.
When you look at the 2016 roster, I think they were a complete team. Like teams win. Like going into the season, I just thought the Cavs were a complete team.
You got to remember,
that's
they
about
didn't have J.R. Smith yet. They didn't have J.R. Smith
They
yet.
did.
They traded for him in the middle of the season, right?
No,
in
That
2015.
was 2015. They
That was
traded
in
in the middle of the
2015. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said that's
2016
why
they
I
had
have them.
I mean, I don't understand the argument. If everyone said if Kyrie and Love would have played, they would have won the title.
That's
so
what
why,
I'm saying.
both of them
Like, what's
playing,
the
why should
argument
they
against
be
it?
No,
the
the
favorite?
only argument is that Kyrie was not going to be available to begin that season. That would have been the only argument to say to start the season.
It's not about the season; it's about the playoffs. So long as Kyrie was going to be there at the playoffs,
That's what I'm saying.
No.
He missed games in the playoffs too that year too.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But again, they did add, like I said, they added Richard Jefferson. If I'm correct, Richard Jefferson was added that year as well. They added Shannon Fry that year. I don't think Shannon Fry was there the year before.
No, he got added.
So,
yeah, he came from
You're
Orlando.
absolutely correct, Johnny. They added Shannon Fry.
So that's what I'm saying. So there was just a little bit of an addition added to the 2016 team that was different than 2015. But again, it is an argument because you could say the Warriors as well. So, but
it was added because of Kyrie injury, so they needed backup. That's the reason why they got them.
It was added because they're trying to win a championship. You don't just say 2015 team was not. You keep adding. Why not add players if you can?
Hold on. They added Shannon Fry because not only he's a stretch big, he's also an additional big that they need help with that team.
Yeah. Because remember, the Warriors did have Bogut. They did have David West. They did have some size as well. No Diddy and a good front court as well. So let's get Twin Man take in so we can get Ralph's take in because Ralph joined us a little late so we can get his take.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Nah, it's all right, Ralph, man. It's always good to see you. Twin Man, what? How many seasons LeBron James had the best roster or the best team going into that season? Twin Man's not paying attention. Twin Man making money. What you at, court? Y'all know Twin Man's a lawyer. Y'all know that, right? Twin Man's a lawyer. Twin Man's a lawyer. Go ahead.
I thought I understood my bad. I think he had the best roster for maybe 5 years. 2012, 13, 2016, and maybe 2020.
Okay.
Man, I did not see 2016. No way.
Okay. All right. Well, so whoever put 10 or plus 10 in the show chat obviously is delusional.
Who's saying no for 16?
I'm saying no for 16.
Why?
Ishmael.
I say I'm just think there was just many teams with rosters that I think that is debatable. It's like that had teams that was contenders. I just don't see like 2016. Oh, he definitely had the best roster in the NBA.
2016 is debatable. That's why I said it's debatable.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, Ishmael, I have a question. If Kyrie and Love would have played in 16 and didn't get hurt, do you think the Cavs would have won in 15?
In 15,
I do, and I still think those
16. Yeah. So you believe they would have won if they played in 15? So why would they not have won in 16? Like, what's the reason for that?
But the question is about the best roster.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Well, they got better.
LeBron has never had a better roster than anybody, but LeBron had the pieces to win, so they believe he had the better team to win the title.
So he can orchestrate.
So do you believe they would have won the title if those players would have played in 15 and you said yes?
Easily.
So why would they not have won it in 16? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying they're contenders in 2016, but just having the best roster to me,
the best team, or being the best team.
I think 2017 was his best roster.
No, because
can I add something? Can I add something?
Go ahead, Tremaine. Go ahead. Yeah.
So this is the thing. We already know there's only one team now. Are we trying to separate this from regular season and playoffs and finals, or
No,
just
just
this
No.
starting the
whole year?
season.
This is starting.
Starting
This
These
is
are the-
this is the idea that LeBron James is supposed to win all these championships, and I'm trying to figure out how many seasons was LeBron James really on the best roster to give you guys this idea that he should have more than 4 NBA championships. So this is what I'm trying to
So real
figure
quick,
out.
real
That's the
quick,
premise.
John.
Uh-huh.
Real quick.
Okay.
I understand
uh-huh.
you're doing it at the beginning of the year, but there's only been one team in NBA in LeBron's entire career he ever
Mhm.
really has been better than, and that was OKC. But besides that, he's never really had the best roster in the finals. Besides that OKC year,
I don't believe LeBron has ever had the best roster.
No,
Nah, OKC was the favorites that year, bro.
I don't want you to go all the way to the finals and give me another 6 months of seeing how good that team is. I'm talking
Yeah.
about to
In
start
the
that
beginning of the year.
season. In the beginning of the season, before that NBA season
Right.
started,
That's what I'm saying.
when you
I
looked
don't-
at the team and you
Yeah.
said, even with the history of all the players, yes, you can take all the players' history from that roster and you can look and say, okay, this roster starting 5, their bench team, this team is the best team in the
Well,
NBA.
that's
Just
zero.
like
That's zero.
No,
for
no.
LeBron.
See, I wouldn't say zero.
See,
That's
Brandon
why I
said Brandon said
three.
0. Brandon said 0. We
I
got
said
everybody's
one.
text. We got
That's what
everybody.
I'm-
Everybody got their text. Brandon is separating it. Brandon already said best team. It was 3, if I'm correct.
No, I said
it was 6.
LeBron had the pieces at the beginning of the year to win at least 7 titles.
Okay,
But that doesn't
okay, you
mean
did
he
say
had the
7.
best roster. He had the pieces. Like
Yes.
Ismail is saying in 2016, he do not believe they did, but I believe they had the pieces to win the title.
Yeah, but
No,
that's
no.
See, but that's not the conversation for me
Yeah,
because
but the roster, he never
the
had a
best
better
team.
roster.
The best
Yeah,
team is
that's
not the
what I'm saying,
only
the
team.
best roster.
That's what I'm saying. No, the best roster is not the only team that has a chance to win the NBA title. Obviously, we can see. Bring up the graph so Ralph can see what we're talking about. Just in case
Okay.
he's a little lost. Just because you have the best roster, that doesn't mean you're nobody else has a chance. We just want.
Right.
We just want. You understand what I'm saying? We just want the idea. I just want the idea of who's going into that season had the best team. The team that you're looking at is like, man, this team is the team that everyone is going to have to beat, barring no injuries. We're not talking about people getting hurt because sometimes it happens. Players get hurt. And it changes the dynamics, but I'm not talking about that. We're just talking about from the beginning of the season. When this season started, did anybody think the Lakers were making the playoffs?
Nope.
But the
I
beginning of
did.
the
I
season,
did. I did. I did. I'm
At the
just saying
beginning
how
of the
many.
season, of course
Yeah.
the Lakers were going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Beginning of
Okay,
the
that's
season.
what I'm
Lakers
saying.
were West
I
Finals.
didn't like the team.
But
It was
anybody
the
here in the
West
beginning of the season said this
I
Laker
didn't
team
think
had a
they were
championship
making-
roster.
I had
Was it
them
a
make the
championship
playoffs.
roster? Was it a
No.
championship roster
No.
going? Okay, all right. 'Cause I know you don't, Ralph, because you don't believe in Austin Reeves. So let's let Ralph come in. So Ralph, I know you're waiting for that because I know you're
In-season
waiting for
tournament
that.
champions. Of course, they have a championship roster.
Right?
I don't want to hear that.
You know what, Craig? That was the greatest fucking post of the week, man. Good job by you. That was a fucking great post, man. Okay,
That was
so
a great
Ralph.
post.
Fire.
So Ralph, the idea is we're talking about LeBron overachieving and underachieving in the playoffs, right? So we first we're going to ask you: has LeBron his playoff career, is his playoff career an overachievement or an underachievement?
I don't think it's. If you want to say he could have got one more ring, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could have got one more ring. I don't really think it's an overachieve or underachieve. You said his career.
Yeah, the playoff career for everything that he's done in the playoffs, all of the stuff that he's done for the playoffs, including his failures. Is it an overachievement or underachievement? So him not having that one more championship, would it be considered him underachieving? Or you would just say, no, he just didn't get that 5th. But what 4 is
He
good
didn't
enough.
just get that 5th. I don't think he. I think he.
Mm-hmm.
I think he overachieved for the fact that that's a good question. I'm not gonna lie.
Welcome back to Go
I
James
think
Kingdom,
I
sir.
think from
Welcome to
I thi-
GJK.
I think from what how they put the title of the chosen one and everything from like before he was in the league, and then a lot of people really was like I do remember the Cleveland Cavaliers roster really talking like down towards him. I think you could say he did overachieve than what other people really thought during that time. I could say that.
Okay. All right. So then, on top of that, what I decided to do was I decided to see, like I said, I really wanted to see what people thought as far as the type of teams LeBron had to face year in and year out when he got to the playoffs. So I put this list together. The left is from 2004 to 2013, and it's 2014 to 2023. Right? So I basically said these were the teams going into those seasons that had the best roster or were the best, considered the best teams, and they on paper, Ralph, like on paper, you were like, man, they have this guy, that guy, they're filled out with the right positions, they have everything from, you know what I'm saying? They're a complete team. This is the team that everybody has to be. So do you see anything on either side that, or any teams that's missing, or you don't agree with at all?
2020. I think the Lakers had the best roster.
Okay, so in 2020, going into 2020 season, you thought that they were definitely the best team. Okay, any other season, anything at all, anything that you see here?
2015 can be argued.
For which team? What team could be?
I think Miami overall. I mean, not Miami. Dang, I'm sorry. The Cavs. You can argue over the Spurs.
So going into that off season, the Cavs just adding Love and LeBron was enough to make them the best team in the NBA over the Spurs with Kawhi Leonard coming into
the best roster. You know, but going into the season before they played the game, no. I wouldn't say 2015.
Yeah, because remember
by the end of the year. By the end of the year, I can
going in the season. They should have won the title. They had the pieces to win the title going in.
Yeah, that's different. Like I said, every team has it. I mean, to be honest with you, if we really think about the Lakers,
I'll say the only that route, it should be title contending. Then, if that's the case, because the best roster is not always the team that wins the championship.
Yeah,
which team was supposed to win? Which team was supposed to win? It should have been the Cavs.
But that's what I'm saying. No, but I mean, going into 2015, you guys really think the Cavs are supposed to win the NBA championship?
Of course.
Yeah, they should have won the championship. Kyrie and Love. If Kyrie and Love was there, they would. You got to understand, without them, they went 6 games against them. If they were there, they probably would have won that at 5.
Yeah, but I don't know.
OKC had a better roster than
start of the season. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, the Cavs was the favorite going into the season, so everyone figured it was the Cavs. Cavs was the favorite going into the season.
If the Cavs was fully healthy going against those Golden State Warriors, I would have had the Cavs in 5.
Remember, the Cavs had the #1 pick.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But listen, but the 09 Cavs had the best odds to be championships. They just do that because it's LeBron. It has nothing to do with the team. So that's why I don't want to do the odds. Because if we go here, like Brandon said, beyond LeBron James being on the Cavaliers in 2015, the other odds is the Spurs. That's the next team. Then it's OKC, like Ishmael said. Then it's the Chicago Bulls, right? Then you. The
09 odds was Boston. It wasn't the Cavs.
It wasn't. Okay, let me double check. Yeah. Hold on, wait. That was one of those years. Though. I think maybe it was 2010. Then hold on, wait.
2010. It was the Lakers.
No, it's Lakers.
Yeah, I think 2010.
LeBron hasn't had the odds to win a title up until 2011 when he joined the Heat. That's the first time.
Yeah.
So when you talk about
I was wrong. Go ahead.
So when you talk about 2015, right, going into the season, you can't say they were favored because for one, Kyrie never made the playoffs before LeBron came back. Kevin Love on his own team never made the playoffs. So
that doesn't mean anything. They're playing with LeBron. They're playing with LeBron.
It's but that's like Johnny said. It's only because of LeBron. Like it's not because of his team.
You can't downplay Kyrie and Kevin Love because they didn't make the playoffs. You got to look at the quality of the type of player they are. They were all-star level players. Yeah. Borderline superstar with Kevin Love.
Okay, but they never did anything, though.
And you're adding. Listen,
they're teaming up together.
Yes. Yeah. You have to look at the quality of the type of player they are. They are all-star level players, and then you could say Kevin Love was almost. You can.
What about?
You can say he was the best power forward during that time.
Okay, let me ask y'all something. Right? Let me ask y'all something. Okay, since you put it that way, right? Let me ask you this.
I don't know about that, guys. Go ahead. I'm going.
So let me ask y'all this, right? So put that same team together in 2015. Take LeBron off of it. Are they still a contender?
Of course not. They don't have LeBron.
Exactly. That's the point.
They don't have LeBron.
No,
but they have LeBron James.
No, but this is my point. So y'all saying, wait. So y'all telling me at the
They're a
start,
playoff team.
okay. So at the start of 2015, going into October 30th, 2014, their first game was against the Knicks. The starting lineup for the Cavs was Kyrie Irving, Dion Waiters, LeBron James, Varejao, and Kevin Love. And then they switched out Dion Waiters after a few games to put in Sean Marion. So I didn't even realize Sean Marion was on that team as well. So they had Sean Marion, right? But this is 2015 now, and this is basically this is their starting lineup that they've been shuffling around. And then after Sean Marion, they shuffled in Della Dover or Mike Miller. Then Tristan Thompson got a chance eventually. We get
trash.
Again, this is the starting. Again, this is the guys are getting put in the starting five. Then eventually they trade for J.R. Smith. They get Mozgov
And Amon Shumpert.
That's when they're at now. That's when I can say, okay, you can say that's how come they were able to make a run, because you add those guys eventually. But if you're telling me the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to make the finals with Varejao and Sean Marion starting,
No, they're making the finals with LeBron, Kyrie, and Love starting. No one cares about the role players.
They're barely a playoff.
That's wrong, Brandon.
They're making the playoffs because of those three stars. Nobody cares about Varejao. Are we winning with Varejao?
No, but Brandon, when you add J.R. Smith, you add Mozgov, you add a Shumpert. That's how you get to the finals that year, not because you had the initial roster starting that year.
Yeah, that's why
they had a rookie coach as well.
Best odds to win the title. The Lakers, the Heat, the Cavs had the best odds to win the titles because of those three players.
They did. Again, they did. That's true.
We're talking about the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
we're talking beginning
of the year. I understand what the odds maker said, Brandon. If we're saying the beginning of the year, I understand that's what the odds maker said. But looking at that roster at the beginning of the year, because when he read off that roster, it really jogged my memory. That's why I didn't pick 2015 when I said which rosters LeBron had I thought was the best in his career. Because I was like, no, I know it wasn't 2015, but that 2016 roster was good.
Like
so that's why I didn't pick 2015.
Never had the best roster, but the team to win the title, the Cavs should have been the favorite to win the title.
I can see them.
But in 2015, you add those, in my opinion, those championship pieces to get him to the finals, and Iman Shumpert and J.R. Smith.
And they still should have been favored to win. They still should have been favored to win.
Hold on, but Brandon, would you agree, Brandon, that ever since 2007, putting LeBron James on the team automatically made you a title
He never played. Other than the Heat, those adding Kyrie and Love is huge pieces. It's huge pieces.
I'm not gonna say that. I know they were going to be a good team. No, don't get me wrong. But all right. So that's what I'm saying. So adding Kyrie and Love would have made them better than the Miami Heat going into that season with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade in that roster.
Of course. You see how they played the year prior. Why would they not be better?
Go ahead, Ralph. Wait. Let's let Ralph get it. Go ahead, Ralph. No, I'm asking because Brandon is saying them being a title contender in 2015.
You guys are acting like LeBron James is this average player. No, LeBron James by himself could have got the Cavs to the finals. You add in Kyrie Irving and Love, they're going to be the favorite to win.
I still
don't see that roster is still not better than when you talk about Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, Kawhi Leonard, and that whole thing that the Spurs had in 2015 going into that season.
Going into that season, you got to understand those three players, they're older, so their play is going to be diminished.
I mean, the reason
they gave it their all in the 2014.
Yeah, they played their best performance ever.
Duncan still was good on the defensive end, but Manu, he wasn't like that in 2014.
We got to stop using age as a way to diminish these players.
We're talking about, but Ralph, we're talking about
Tim Duncan production.
We're talking about the ascension of Kawhi Leonard. We're talking about the ascension of Kawhi Leonard now. It's not. Tim Duncan is good. You're right.
Kawhi Leonard averaged he was not destroying the league in 14.
Kawhi started to emerge.
No, in 15.
That's
15 was
when
when
you see the emergence of him being that all-star caliber player. But you also
in 14 he wasn't.
Manu.
In 14 he wasn't.
No, I know in 14.
No, we're talking about 15.
The finals, Brandon. After what they did to
Kawhi
the Heat
was
in
not that player
2014.
that he was. Going into 15, Kawhi Leonard was not the player that he was.
I hear what you're saying, though.
He won defensive player of the year in 15.
LeBron in the finals. That's
what we talking about.
Yeah, he was good. He wasn't that superstar. He was not superstar going into 15.
He won again. He won Defensive Player of the Year that year. Everybody was talking about him ascending to being that guy, being the main guy for the team that year. That's what I'm saying. And
he got the Finals MVP too, so you got to consider that as well.
That's the whole point.
That was his coming out party. I wouldn't say that.
17 points a game. Come on,
like I said,
it wasn't like he was after 25, 26. No.
2015 is when you start to see the emergence of Kawhi. He started to hit his prime during that time. Manu
during that season, but not at the beginning. During that season, but not at the beginning.
Yeah, because to start that season again, that roster.
No, that's what I was saying.
No, again, it started 2015. You have Tony Parker. You have let me make sure I get this right. You have Tony Parker, Danny Green, Tim Duncan, Kawhi Leonard, and Boris Diaw. Then coming off the bench, you had Manu Ginobili. You had Thiago Splitter, Patty Mills, Matt Barner.
I thought they lost Patty Mills
in 2015.
He was still there.
He played 51 games. He played 51 games for them in 2015. So, but again, they had the roster. That's what I'm saying. You putting it. The 2015 Cavaliers were similar. The 2015 Cavaliers were similar to the 2011 Heat. It was kind of just throwing some guys together. That's why they made trades during the middle of the season.
But LeBron was better.
He was.
He was more.
LeBron is the X factor.
He was already a winner at that time. So why would LeBron be better in 15 than he was in 11?
It's not about LeBron, Brandon.
It is about LeBron. No, wait.
It's all about LeBron.
It is about LeBron. This is GOAT James Kingdom.
That's
it is about LeBron. So Brandon is leading the GOAT James haters along with this one because what he's saying is that there were 7 seasons where LeBron James should have won a championship. I say there was 4 seasons where he had the best team to win a championship. All the other teams were just successful seasons for him. So most of y'all agree it was between 3 to 7. That's what I've heard from most of you guys here. So with that being said, is 4 championships an underachievement for you? For those who got more than 4. So let's start. Brandon, is it? Go ahead, Ralph. Do you think it's an underachievement to only have 4?
5 he should have. Debatable 6. But definitely I think he should have 5.
Yeah, for me, like we're talking about at the beginning of the year. Like that doesn't dictate who's going to be the title, be the best player. Like LeBron James, when we finish the season going into the playoffs, into the finals, he should maybe have like 2 or 3 because that's how his teams were. He never had the best team.
I don't think you should determine weird, like at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, that's different. Like that's why.
Because it's easy. It's easy to play Monday quarterback. It's easy to play Monday quarterback. It's easy to look back and say, "Oh, they should have won this because the way they played that year." Because if you overachieve and make the finals, that doesn't mean you were supposed to be a title contender. That's because you just played well. You're good. Like Brandon said, you have a LeBron James. He can get you there, but are you supposed to be there? Why are you so great?
He was supposed to be there. 2011.
No, he wasn't.
There in the final.
No, he wasn't. To start the season, people did not think the Miami Heat was the best, and then during that season, it was even worse. During the season, it was worse. I already proved it, Ralph.
They ended it with the number 1 net rating in the league.
Ralph, when they ended that season, they had an under 500 record versus winning teams. They were 1-7 versus Boston and Chicago Bulls. No one thought that they were going to make the NBA Finals. No one. I got the predictions. I did a whole show about it with the whole predictions, and everybody was talking about the Heat. That 2011 Heat team started off bad, went on a good little run, and ended the season well. But even on top of that, every time they faced a good team, they were 0-2 versus Dallas. They were 1-3 versus Chicago, and they were 0-4 versus Boston.
When did they face those teams?
They faced Boston in the beginning of the season, got blown out game 1.
And the thing is, see, I can understand that because, you're bringing players to each other to where they don't have camaraderie together. It takes time to build that chemistry within the team. So if they face those teams at the beginning of the year, I can use that into context because we've seen them as the season progressed, they started getting better and better. And that's why by the end of the season, they had the number 1 net rating of the whole league. Like,
yeah, I got you, Ralph. But Chicago had the best record. Chicago had the MVP. Boston had already beaten them every time handily. Not just.
Are you talking about 2011?
Yeah, 2011.
Yeah, 2011. That he should not have been in the finals.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I didn't even have them as the best team. To me, the Lakers, again, just because you have the best team as far as on paper, that doesn't mean you're going to make the finals. You still have to execute. You have to perform.
They didn't even have the best team on paper.
They didn't have.
That's my point. Go ahead, Rob.
I'm not gonna argue that they didn't have the best team on paper. But what I'm saying is, at the beginning of the season, we seen that struggle because they had to build the chemistry with each other. But once you seen they built that chemistry, they were dog walking everybody, and that's why their record got better and better. And it shows. It shows in the numbers. Like I said, they were the #1 net rating team in the league. Because of that second part.
That's what
but
I'm
if we're talking about the beginning of the beginning of the season, I agree.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That's why I said the 2011 Heat overachieved, because even with the roster that they had, they were still able to be as dominant as you said they was with the net rating, because they did have the best net rating in the league, even though they didn't have the best offense or the best defense. But the amount of times that they beat teams, they did blow out a lot of teams. They did blow, but again, they were under 500 versus teams with winning records the whole season, not just against Boston of those teams. That's what they were the whole season versus teams with winning records. And against Boston and Chicago, they were 1-7. They were 0-2 against Dallas, and I believe they beat the Lakers only once. I think them and the Lakers were 1-1.
But that's what I'm saying. When did they play Chicago?
Throughout the season, Rob.
I'm just saying 4 times.
Throughout the season, they play them 4 times.
What I'm saying is,
I don't know the exact dates, Rob. No, I can't give you the exact dates.
Because the reason why I'm asking that question, if they played them at the beginning of the season, I understand why they got beat like that. If they would have played them towards the end, it wouldn't have been like that.
No, they did get beat though, Ralph. Towards the end, it didn't matter about the chemistry. They just weren't a better team than some of those teams that are winning.
What dates did they beat them?
Towards the end of the season, bro. You can look this up.
No, Ralph, I'm gonna look it up.
Don't make no statements and don't have the facts.
No, Ralph, I'm gonna get you the dates. It's not that hard to get the dates.
I appreciate it.
All right, no. So just to bring it in context, y'all. The reason I'm saying this is that for me, LeBron had 4 seasons where he had the best roster, so he won 4 championships. So to me, LeBron actually did the best that he could do. If he would have won any more, he would have completely overachieved on top of that. So Brandon is kind of leaning in towards the Michael Jordan fan logic that, hey, he could have won 7 championships. He should have 7 rings instead of 4.
I said at the beginning of the year. If you talk about the beginning of the year, it's completely different.
Oh, no,
that has no effect on
the end
of the year.
You said
that has no effect on the end of the year.
You did say he did not have a championship or the best roster. Never. So
Never.
For you, we're
4
talking
about best roster. 2000 Portland should have been the best team because that team was stacked.
Yeah, I know. Again, we can do that. We can do that. But Ralph, that's the point of all of this. Like I said, just because you have the best roster or the best team to start in the beginning of the season, that doesn't mean you're going to win the championship. So you're still
I agree.
it's a
player. I agree 1,000%.
They played them January 15th, February 24th, and March 6th.
All right, look, they played Boston.
What was the dates?
January 15th. February 24th, and March 6th.
Yeah, March 6th, did they won or lost?
They lost. They lost all 3 of them.
It's like I said, bro. They were losing a lot of those games.
Ralph. In February, there was a stretch where they lost to Boston on the 13th of February, right? And they played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games. And within those, the next 11 games, the next 10 games after that, he had a 5-game losing streak, and they won 4 out of 11 games in the middle of February and March.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, again, they were still a good team. Now, mind you, they still won 50-something games.
Now, Ralph,
that's bad.
Ralph, the game on March 6th, it was 87-86 Bulls. Bulls only won by 1.
Yeah, and then they finally
around
beat
February
Boston.
is when they started getting towards the end of that February, around that time, that's when you started seeing them getting their groove. So they lost in March and February.
In March they got their groove because they beat Boston bad. They beat Boston in April 10th, And that same season, 2011, they beat them 100-77. That was the only time they beat Boston that year, though. But that was April 10th, right before the playoffs started. Again, they blew out the Sixers. They blew out Boston, but Rondo got hurt that playoff series. I think he got hurt game 4.
He got hurt early. I think Wade broke his arm like in game 2 or game 3, something like that.
And then they blew out the Bulls, and that's why everybody was like, yo, they have to win the champions, because the only team that anybody thought that was going to beat them that year was the Lakers, got blown out by Dallas. So by the time they got to the finals, the idea was nobody's going to beat the Miami. They got past Boston, they got past Chicago, and now it's just Dallas. They should be champions. So that's why I said, but to start the season, when people were like, well, how are they going to fill out this roster? Like when LeBron said they got a player full of minimum players, they had 8 players on 1-year deals. That was it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think the
question
only one. I think Mike Miller was he signed for the mid level, and then after
it was just Mike Miller and Udonis and Chalmers, who were signed to multiple years, and then LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Bosh. The rest of the lineup were all on 1-year deals. Elgauskas, all of those guys were all on 1-year deals. Yeah, they were all fill-ins. The minimums.
Mike Miller was going where LeBron, Bosh, and Wade was going anyway. So wherever they was going, Mike Miller was going too. He was a part of that package too. A lot of people.
And so was Udonis and Big Z. Big Z was a part of LeBron.
Well, Udonis, they were able to use his bird rights to go over the cap. So Udonis was going to be good.
But but the big three did agree to make sure that they were going to cut their salary enough to make sure Big Z and UD was going to get a thing, and Mike Miller. So those three were definitely a part of the whole thing.
And UD still took a pay cut.
And Chalmers was still on a rookie contract, so they were able to keep a thing. But all those other guys like Joel Anthony, McGlura, Juwan Howard, Eddie House, Bibby, Arroyo, all these guys were on 1-year deals.
I mean, the better question would be going into the playoffs, who was the favorite, other than going to the season.
That's a little bit different. I mean, maybe we can do that another time. I mean,
that would have been a better thing to do.
Y'all want to do that now? We can do that now. I have time.
It's just going into the season.
I'm down as long as you guys got time.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, going into the season, I can't think of going to the playoffs. The only time I could think the LeBron should have been favorite to win was probably
what?
Shit, never.
2012.
Not even 2012 because
2012.
Maybe 2012.
I think
we're gonna go down the line.
2013, like maybe 2 years. Like I said earlier, maybe 2 years.
So Brandon says 2 years going into the playoffs. So after the regular season, how many seasons did you guys think LeBron James had the team that was going to be the team to win the championship?
13. 12 and 13.
Had the team to what?
To win the championship.
12 and 13 for me.
All right, had the team to win the championship. That they were the best team. That you was like, listen, after this season, this is the team. What year LeBron James was a part of that team? So what about you, Craig? How many years? The 21 years. At the end of the season, that you was like, oh yeah, LeBron's winning a championship.
I mean, you gotta. I would say, I would give him. I mean, that's hard to say because remember he was on the Eastern Conference for majority of his career. Mm-hmm. So everybody was saying he was making it to the finals. It's just whoever he was going to face.
Yeah. Everyone thought the West was going to beat him. Everybody thought the West was going to beat him.
Is it the Eastern Conference, Craig? Is it the?
No, I'm just saying. Once he went to the finals, the first 2 seasons on the Heat. It was just okay. Who was the LeBron team's gonna face in the finals? That everybody was talking like it's just LeBron and then whoever will come out the West in the finals at that time. So it's hard to say who actually win the finals. Yeah. Now winning the finals, that's something totally different.
All right, so that's why we say how many years? How many seasons? Just give me a season. Yeah. Give me how many seasons was that for you for LeBron?
I would say 2, 3 the most.
Do you have any years?
I would say the. See, I'm getting it backwards. So I'm going by I'm counting the titles that he in my opinion he lost and should have won. That's why I say 2. But then the fact that he actually won the 4, that's why I'm saying with the question. He should have won 3.
So 3. Okay. right, let me answer Marlon Malcolm's question here. He's a GOAT James Kingdom member. But he did not a question. He did make a statement. He said Ty Lue coaching in 2016 also helped the Cavs. I think that's another reason why they were a better team, because they had a better coach as well going into 2015, going into 2016.
But Tyronn Lue came in mid-season.
He came in mid.
Tyronn Lue came in mid-season.
Oh, you're right. You know what? You're right.
He was still the assistant coach. He was still the assistant coach, so they knew. Yeah, they knew most about him. Like Craig, are you saying it should have been 3 times that he should have won, or 7 times?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it should have. They say he won 4, and I say out of those 4. I'm saying I'm going by how many he had and how much he should have won. That's what I'm saying.
Because out of those 4, he was only favored once out of those 4.
Forget how much he won. Out of the 21 seasons, when he ended those seasons, those 21 regular seasons, how many times did you say to yourself, yo, LeBron James has the best team, they're going to win the championship?
Had the best team to ever win a championship?
To win those titles.
To win those titles.
Yeah.
What years? What years did after?
Yeah, because I said
season?
2012 and 2013 that the Heat should have won the titles, and those are the only teams that at the end of the regular season they should have won the titles, even though they were not favored in the finals. I still thought that they should have been the
That's what I'm saying.
title
I'm saying 2015 he should have won. I think he should have won the final, even though Kyrie and Kevin Love was down, because
no
one was thinking about Golden State like that. Like
Craig, we're asking, Craig,
No,
Craig, we're asking the same question, but we're just changing the time frame from the beginning of the season to the end of the season.
Yeah, after the regular season.
So the start of the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. He don't care for the season. He's a playoff performer. That's why everything.
But that's why Brandon is saying. That's what I'm saying. So at the start of every playoff, the last 17 playoffs LeBron's played in. How many times did you feel that he had the best team to win the championship?
That's what I'm saying. I said 2. I would say 2. They had the best 2. The 2
okay.
was 20.
Okay, so 2 out of 17. 2 out of 17 playoffs. 2 out of 17.
He said 2012 and 13, right? Just like me.
Yeah, that he should have.
Oh yeah, that's what I think too. Okay, Travis.
Okay, go ahead, Travis. Your turn, Travis.
I mean, so you're saying like, okay, how many times after the season ended we expect him to win the title? Is that your question?
Yeah.
Well, no, it's the same. It's the same question as we started the whole show, but instead of from the start of the NBA season, it's the start of the playoffs. So that means the NBA season is over. If it's 2011, after the 2011 season, did you say, okay, the Miami Heat are the best team, they should be winning the championship? After 2018, all these other
LeBron team, any
LeBron team.
I still maintain that, like, if you actually watch that season and how it progressed, I still think 2011. I expected them to. I mean, I get like their record against some of the teams, but that was definitely, like you guys say, the matter of just them gelling, and I think they hit that stride, especially defensively at the end. So I expected them to go far 2011. I did think that the Lakers could maybe get there and stop them, but that didn't happen. 2013, I didn't really have a doubt. I was just like kind of uninterested at that point. And I think that after the season in 2016, I expected the Warriors to win, but I mean, obviously what happened. But I think that all in all, I really just expected him to win, or I didn't have any doubt those 2 years in 2011 and 2013. 2012 was a toss-up for me because I don't think they improved the roster that much, but I wasn't surprised.
All right, so 2 out of 17 for you. All right, and John?
I agree with Brandon 2012 and 2013, but I do want to say one thing. With the Cavs, I think at the end of the season, the 2017 team was his best team in Cleveland, but they weren't going to beat that Golden State team with KD. But as far as the Cavs, I think by the end of the season, because remember they had added Kyle Korver, that was the best team in Cleveland. But
That's almost the best team LeBron had.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I believe that was the best team he had. I do. I believe that was the best team he had. But as far as like after the season ended, 12 and 13, I agree. I was saying, hey, they're gonna win it this year.
All right, and Ishmael, for you, Ishmael. Remember, we change it from the.
I would say, I agree with Brandon. 2012 and 2013, 2 years.
All right, and New World.
Hey man, it's just those 2 years.
Wow. Okay. All right. And DJ Killer.
I would just say 2013 and 2020 actually.
Oh yeah, I think.
I don't the 2012.
Oh yeah, 2020. I don't know why I forgot that.
The 2012 is iffy for me in 2012. I don't like absolutely no doubt. Yeah, I would say 13 and 20 for me.
All right, so all you gentlemen said 2. Everybody's saying 2 so far, right? I'm correct, right? 2 years, right? Correct. 2. Okay. All right. And Ralph, how many seasons for you, Ralph?
All right. So I already made my. Wow, dude, that's crazy. All right. So I already stated in 2011 how the way they ended the season and everything. I think 2011 has a good case. 2012 definitely. 2013. 2014.
By the end of the season, 2014?
2014 is up in the air for me.
No, it's not. Wade was hurt too.
It's up in the air for me. That's what I'm saying. It's like I gotta think about that one.
I think the Heat should have won. Yeah, they should have won, so it's not a shock. But they should have won 2014. So,
now I'm gonna say 2015. This is before Kyrie and Kevin Love got hurt. So if we're talking about starting the playoffs, I could say 2015. 2016 definitely.
This is 2020. Weird because things happen.
It does.
Another team, best player could be hurt. It was like, okay, because that player's hurt.
No, we're talking about starting the playoffs.
Brandon did change the dynamics. Now he did change the dynamics by taking it from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. So there is a lot of differences, and I'm gonna tell you why as well when it's my turn. But go ahead, Ralph. Continue.
I'll say 2015, 2016, and 2020.
So you say 4 years, three years?
11, 15, and 2020?
No, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, and 20.
That's 6 seasons. So you had the Cavs win the championship after the 73-9 Warriors?
Yeah.
Still, even though the Warriors were 73-9.
They won 73-9, but when you look at the Cavs when they started, like when they had those players, when you look at 15 and how Golden State struggled with the LeBron's second and third option, not on that squad, I don't think they wouldn't have won in my mind. In 2016, I'm like, if that team is healthy, and then the additional Channing Frye and Richard Jefferson, you're going into that season, into that finals against that team that really didn't improve their roster. They just improved their play in 2016. The Cavs won.
I say if LeBron won in 2015, the Golden State would have won 73 games.
Well, Ralph spoken like a true MJ delegate, boy. Ralph spoken like a true MJ.
I don't think I've heard anybody say that.
I'm just saying, it's like let's look at it real quick. This is why I'm gonna make a hot take right now. Tyronn Lue is a very overrated coach. I really feel like he benefited off of LeBron's back in that 2016. Because let's be for real, what has he done with these Clippers that's a better roster?
Nothing.
Not a damn thing.
Nothing.
I feel like he benefited off that roster.
All right, Ralph, you got a hot take, but Reggie Reg here gave us a super chat. He wants us to answer this question, so we're gonna answer this. Brandon and I are gonna answer this. He says, "How were LeBron's teams good enough to tear through the East, but not good enough to compete for titles? Does that say more about the East or the team?" What do you say there, Brandon?
I mean, no one's saying that he couldn't compete for the title. We're saying that the team in the East were the best team in the league. If that team was in the East, those other teams would still be in the East. So Golden State and the Spurs were the best team in the West for a while. That's as simple as that.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, great answer.
So great disingenuous.
Great answer. All right, so Ralph, too much of your hot takes. You've been sending out too many shots. You only been here shortly, and you're already out here putting holes in walls.
Yeah, Ralph, what's going on, man? What is going on with you?
Ralph,
there's a lot of build-up from moving and everything, and I haven't been able to get on.
Jeez.
All right, we got Twin Man though. We letting Twin Man get the last.
Well, hold on for one second before Twin Man goes. Who thinks that like at the end of the year, Golden State was supposed to be the greatest regular season team of all time. How is it even possible that the Cavs were going to beat them? They even win 60 games that year.
I don't know.
Ralph.
We talking about 2016?
Yeah, 2016.
Like
At the end of the year,
possible?
Unanimous MVP. The way Curry was playing,
Greatest
everything.
season ever for a regular season team. Like, how's that even possible?
Well, they had a great season. There's no doubt about that. But like when it comes to the playoffs, we got to look at it. It's not about. It's like the matchup problem. That's when it comes to.
I mean, they destroyed everybody. It wasn't a matchup problem.
No, I'm talking about when it comes to the playoffs. When it comes to the playoffs. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, that's why I say Tyrone Lue is the most overrated coach. I really feel like that LeBron, after that 3-1, LeBron took over that team, and that's how they were able to come back and win. Tyrone.
Benjamin Franklin is in the comments saying, "Well, that's because Bogut got hurt and Bogut got injured and
got
suspended." Here we go. So that's
all right. Let's go to it, man. Well, Ralph keep throwing these shots out.
I mean, Bogut got hurt. That's true, but like, I mean, there's some context to that. He only played 15 minutes a game. And like, did he make it difficult for those Cavs to score in those 15 minutes? Yeah, but I wouldn't say it's solely on that.
Like he did Kawhi.
What it was is like I felt like LeBron and Kyrie really stepped up and took advantage. What they did was they figured it out once Draymond got
hit shots,
well.
bro. That was the only difference.
When Draymond, they took the opportunity when Draymond went out and once they figured it out right there, and Draymond came back, it still didn't affect anything, and they just dominated that.
Listen, saying Bogut is the factor. Saying Bogut is a factor in that finals. It's like saying Reeves is the factor for the Lakers to beat the Denver Nuggets this series. That's
right.
I wouldn't say Bogut.
Let's let Twin Man go. Let's let
Bogut getting hurt, Steph getting injured, hurt, Iggy getting a little bit banged up, hurt. So
yeah, but we can say that about 2015.
If you said the momentum shift. If he said the momentum shift, I wouldn't argue that. But saying Bogut, he's not solely.
Let's go get Twin Man. Let's go. All
right, Twin Man. How many seasons at the end of the year that you were like, oh man, that's it. LeBron has the best team. They winning the championship.
2 seasons. I have two solid seasons in the year. 2 seasons, 2012 and 2020. Period.
Wow, that's it.
Hold on, Twin Man. Why are you guys not saying 2013?
I don't understand that either.
Yeah, 2013 is his best season ever.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm not saying 2013. I'm gonna tell you why I'm not saying 2013.
Because they played all 82 games. 2012 and 2020, he didn't have to play a full season to win.
Yo.
You goddamn MJ delegates. Listen. You damn MJ delegates, this has got to stop. This is not going to work. This is not going to happen right now.
All right, Twin Man. Yeah, go ahead to answer about 2013.
I didn't see anybody beating the Spurs. I think the Spurs were just too good that year, so I didn't see anybody beating them. That's just it. And then after that, the rest is history. So there's only really 2 years I really saw LeBron James at the end of the year.
Why not?
So no, wait. Listen. So listen, you guys are all kind of proving Brandon and I's case here throughout the whole idea of why LeBron James is kind of the GOAT, or why he's the GOAT for us, is because he kind of overachieved with the way you guys are talking. Besides Ralph, everybody said 2 or 3 seasons here. Everybody, so out of the 17 times LeBron James made the playoffs. They heard. They listened. Ralph said, "I don't fall for that shit no more, Adrian."
Do you guys remember in 2013 that they won like 27 straight games, and LeBron had like LeBron should have been defensive player. Like that was his best year. They had Ray Allen on the team, and OKC was like the number 1 team that year in the West. It wasn't the Spurs.
So I feel what you're saying. I'm telling you why I felt LeBron James wasn't. And I'm talking about when the playoffs started.
You felt wrong.
Thought the Spurs were going to win it outright.
You felt wrong.
I think you need to take
I don't think not too many people thought the Spurs was going to win it, though.
You're right, Marlon. You're right, Marlon. They did hear the question. They heard the question.
They heard the question. Game 7.
People were shocked that they was in the finals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't even. I didn't
Yeah,
have them.
in 2014 is different because we saw how well they played in the finals, and everyone knew that they were ready for the task. But in 2013, that
Wait,
wasn't
didn't
the
the
case.
Spurs pack up KD that year, or am I mistaken?
No, in the playoffs, that's when I believe the OKC went up 2-0, and that's when the Spurs just came back. I think that's what happened.
Oh, okay. No, that's what I'm saying. I thought the Spurs did pack them up that year.
That was the
Yeah,
year
yeah, but
before.
going into the playoffs, we're saying going into the playoffs.
That was the
Oh
year
no.
before San Antonio actually went up 2-0 and OKC won 4 straight.
Oh, that's what
Yeah.
OKC just
Oh, okay. Okay.
They're trying to make the finals. So how could the Spurs be seen as a team that?
But when that KD get hurt that year?
But it's my turn now, right? It's my turn now. I'm gonna give
go
y'all
ahead.
my years because let me tell y'all something. Ralph had a take. I'm about to throw a take out here. Brandon changed the whole dynamics. I'm actually going to add a season where he was in his first Cleveland stint. After the 2009 season, it was easily said the Cavaliers were supposed to win the championship. Remember, they only lost in a Game 7 to the Boston Celtics the year prior, and LeBron played well that series. And supposed to be 2009, they had added, I believe Ben Wallace was on the 2009 team, but
He was.
They added just a little bit of a piece just to help them. They won, I think, 66 games that season. They had the best record in the NBA. At the end of that season, LeBron was there. He's gonna, all he has to do is get past Boston, and he's gonna win the NBA championship. Because even the Lakers at that point, people didn't know whatever. Even though I said they had the best rosters to start that season, but there were still a lot of good teams in the West. So who knows what was gonna happen with the Lakers? But I add 2009. I don't.
That's true. Yeah. I would. Yeah, I would too. 2009.
2009, right? So I take away 2011 because, like I told you, at the end of
All his
2011,
MVP years.
I vehemently disagree with that.
no, because I don't believe after 2010, even though they won 60 games, that Cavs team still wasn't good enough. They had Shaq, and I think they added Antoine Jameson.
Well, after 2010, we already knew that team wasn't good enough. But 2009, I believe they thought that the Cavs.
That team was good enough.
Finals, though.
Yeah,
they were good. No, they were good enough.
That team was good enough.
Remember,
to make the
they
finals.
just had to beat Boston because remember he took Boston Game 7. Kobe didn't even take Boston Game 7.
Hey, like you say about Jordan '89, LeBron did the same thing in 2010.
Yeah, I mean
that's
true,
right.
Johnny.
Go ahead.
I'd say that's true. Like in 2010, they also had the 61 game, like still best in the league. The difference was, when they played Boston, the first 3 games when they were up 2-1, LeBron was giving you 35 points a game on 55% shooting. The next 3 give you 15 on 24%.
Yeah, we're talking about.
So.
Listen, you can get your shots. You can get your shots because you wanted to join the MJ delegate posse today. You felt good. You got Craig and Ralph here. But we're talking before the playoffs. We're not talking about what happened during the playoffs. We're talking about before the playoffs. In 2010, Rondo's ascension was there. And that's why Boston was better than the Cavaliers going
that
into
was the
that
best
season.
year Shaq ever had, though, in 2010. He was like dropping 45 and like 60.
Who in their right mind thought?
Real good Shaq.
That says something about a league.
That's probably the most asinine thing I've heard in the last week or so.
What's that? What's that? What's that?
That Shaq was the best version of himself in 2010. That's crazy.
Okay, yeah, okay. All right, yes, that's
if anybody said that, they need to
DJ,
not talk basketball.
DJ, you wanted to say something, DJ?
Who in their right mind thought the Cavs were going to win a championship in 09 and 10? Johnny? Like, are we on drugs?
No.
2009.
No. DJ, listen to the question was at the end of that season. So after watching everything that happened in 2009, to be honest with you, as well as LeBron was playing, as good the Cavs was playing, they could have, and again, they were prepared to beat the Boston Celtics. Even LeBron admits it. They weren't prepared for Orlando. They didn't realize they were going to play a team like Orlando that really caught them off guard. So they were really, and possibly, if they would have faced Boston instead of Orlando, they probably would have won the whole thing.
I mean, nobody thought the Magic was going to beat the Cavs. Nobody thought the Magic was going to beat the Cavs.
No.
Okay, you can explain it then. Like, why?
Yeah,
how
did
you think that the Cavs were not going to make it to the finals?
When you look at that Boston team, I never thought they would beat Boston, even if they would have played them in 09.
Okay,
like,
but KG was hurt. KG was hurt.
You mean 2010?
No,
we're talking about
2009. We're talking about at the end of the season of 2009, 66-win Cavalier team, league MVP, LeBron James.
He threw me off a little bit.
Yeah, so tell us why they were not going to make it to the finals.
because his whole first stint in Cleveland, that especially those 60-win seasons, that's fool's gold, bro. When you look at LeBron, when he left the team, bro, they got the number one pick
No,
3 times and the
no. Tell
fourth
us
pick.
why in 2009
Like
they were
that,
not
We're
going
talking
to make
about
it to the finals.
2009, DJ.
Yeah,
not
tell
the
us
whole
why
season.
they were not going to make it to the
Just in
finals.
2009. Just 2009.
no,
Just that
they
season.
that
Oh, eight,
roster,
09.
no,
Yes,
that they weren't going to
08,
be.
09,
Sound like he ain't gonna give you an answer. That's what it sounds
I
like.
am.
No, just let him.
Let him talk.
Just
Let him
let
talk.
him.
Go ahead. Let him talk.
Oh,
DJ
08,
School.
09.
Go ahead, DJ.
When you look at the landscape of just getting out of the Eastern Conference, I understand KG was hurt. That's fine. But that Cavs team was not going to beat no Boston. They were not going to beat no Orlando. That's why they lost to Orlando.
Tell us why. We know they didn't beat the Magic, but why couldn't they not have beaten the Magic when everyone thought they was going to beat the Magic?
Because they didn't have the roster, bro. Just simple as that. They didn't have the roster, bro.
Bro, you'd have been better off just saying that they didn't have a matchup for Dwight Howard.
Yeah, exactly.
Even that, I don't think they had the roster. Period.
Okay, why?
Yes, they did. They had the roster.
What did they not have? What did they not have?
The matchup problem.
What did they not have?
Who was his second option in Cleveland in 09?
I
Mo
believe
Williams. He was averaging 17 a game.
So y'all thought he was going to get out the East with Mo Williams as his second option? Are we on drugs?
Who was the second option in Orlando? Who was the second option in Orlando?
In Dwight's second option, Hedo or Rashard Lewis. And the Cavs couldn't do nothing with neither one of them.
Yes, we already knew as soon as we saw him play, but at the end of the season, no one expected the Orlando Magic to be in the finals.
Yeah, at the end of regular season, they were not better than Mo Williams during that time. Mo Williams,
yeah, Orlando elevated. Everybody thought the Cavs were going to beat them.
Yeah, exactly.
If y'all think so, then so be it, bro.
We're talking about the end of the season. Like, we already know they didn't beat them because of those matchups you're saying. Yeah, because of what we saw, we realized that the Cavs were not a better team. But going into that postseason, everyone believed that the Cavs was going to win the title.
I didn't. Good luck with that.
I mean,
also, but you notice he still didn't give you an answer. Like I told you, he
what answer, John?
He thought they was going to
He just said he didn't believe they were. He doesn't believe they had the roster. That's
they
all.
They didn't have the roster. That's what I said.
Boston,
yeah, he doesn't think they had a good enough roster. 1-3 asking me and Brandon and I. He says, "Goat James Kingdom. Who was MJ was to be like when he entered the NBA?" To be honest,
Dr. J.
Dr. J.
It was not. I don't even think it was Dr. J.
It was Dr. J.
It was Dr. J because of the jump man thing.
Wasn't it? Is it David Thompson? Is it David Thompson? Is that his name?
It was actually David Thompson.
They were comparing it between David. They were saying that he was a mixture of David Thompson and Dr. J.
Okay. Yeah, so that's why I remember it was David Thompson. I remember he said, I know Jordan said that was one of his favorite players. He kind of mimicked. I don't remember because he was never because y'all forget, man. Dr. J was a good rebounder. Jordan was just a shooting guard. Dr. J was a small forward. Jordan was he was large for his position. No Diddy, but yeah, I would say David Thompson and David Thompson. I guess like you said, Dr. J, but he definitely wasn't expected to be the guy he became. That was a shock.
No one expected. Nah, they didn't expect that. His rookie year was very shocking.
All right, so let me continue. I told you my take was going to be. I went to 2009. Y'all didn't even let me continue. So I have 2009, right? Okay. So after 2009, I don't see LeBron James at the end of his season where I felt like, okay, yeah, they have it until 2013. Because even after 2012, as good as the Heat were in 2012, there was still question marks. There were still doubts, big doubts. But that 2013 team, there was no doubts. They added Allen. There was, and LeBron was, like y'all said, that was LeBron's
27 straight game winning streak.
All that at the end of the year. Now 2014, you can say also the Heat as well. Even though the Spurs had a great season, everybody knew it was going to be those two teams. But having LeBron James, you can say at the end of that season. So we got 2009, 13, and 14. After 2015, it was iffy. For me, it was, damn, man, LeBron James is the man. I can't believe he's doing it with Cavaliers. He's doing it with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. He should be in Miami doing it. At the end of that season, I didn't see nobody stopping him going to the championship. I don't think there was no teams, but I didn't think they could beat the Spurs. So I had him probably making the finals. but not beating the Spurs.
See, that's the thing I was saying. Like, he made 8 straight finals, so how can you say he didn't have a team?
Now and then 2016, I definitely didn't have him in 2016 because I was like, man, ain't nobody beating the Warriors.
Interruption. Philly up 49-47 on the Knicks. That's just for Ralph because he liked the Knicks. I just want him to know that.
Yeah, about to make me get off this off this channel, go watch the game.
Oh, don't worry, we almost done.
we almost done. So then from there, we all know. At the end of 2020, I did feel like the Lakers had a chance, but I thought it was going to be them in Milwaukee to a certain degree. But I don't know. Like I said, it was up in the air. Let's just say I'll give them 2020. But after that, there was no season at the end of the season where I was like, yo, the Lakers are going to win an NBA championship. I didn't see
Johnny, so if it was the Lakers in Milwaukee, how you feel that series would have went?
Honestly, the way I felt about Milwaukee, then I thought Milwaukee was going to win the championship. So that's why I only give it 3 years. And actually,
Milwaukee was going to win.
2020.
2020.
If we talking about before the pandemic, then that's a good argument.
But yeah, before the pandemic started, when going into even when you went to the pandemic, nobody knew what was going to happen because it was all iffy. The whole pandemic thing was crazy. Nobody knew what was going to happen. I don't think no team had an edge in the pandemic, but probably the Clippers. Because everybody thought this was the perfect time.
Everybody thought it was the Clippers going to win.
Clippers, yeah.
That's facts.
But at the end of the season, before Rudy Gobert touched the mics and fucked up everything for everybody, it was the Bucks.
I believe it was probably still the Clippers because that was the only time the Lakers beat them was that game right before everything shut down.
So yes, so besides Ralph and his
they were tied. Yeah. I'm pretty sure
they beat them twice.
They were 2-2.
Yeah, so besides Ralph and his TikTokness, everybody here would say LeBron James overachieved because he ended up winning 4 championships without having a roster or a team that was championship rostered 4 times.
I was saying before the pandemic, they beat them in the bubble again, so they beat them the last 2. But before the pandemic, I believe most teams thought it was.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, actually.
So to think that LeBron James, for all he's given us, for 21 years of greatness, I mean, most of us don't even have, that's half of my life. You know what I'm saying? For most of y'all, it's more than half of your life. And then to say that he just underachieved. Well, that's 3 times the children you have, Ralph. So
you ain't lying.
But still, though, to think that this man underachieved because of how much championships we are expecting him to win on a year-to-year end basis, it's crazy. Because even now, the Lakers are as I would think that they underachieved for what I thought from the beginning of the season, but if we go from what Brandon said to the end of the season, there are a lot of good teams in the West. Nobody thought Minnesota was going to be as good as they was. Nobody thought OKC was going to be as good as they was. So there were some teams that Dallas was better than we thought a lot was. We had question marks for them. So obviously Phoenix stepped up. There was look at the Warriors didn't make the playoffs. Who thought the Warriors wouldn't make the playoffs to start the season? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's crazy because 2 teams that weren't in the playoff picture last year are leading 3-0 right now. So
I don't think
none of them got any MVP consideration except for SGA. This is some bullcrap, the NBA.
Yeah. So
can I have a moment?
Go ahead, Twin Man. Let's give it to us. What you got for us? Pause. Go ahead.
Conversation I wanted to run back from last week with my boy John. So John, I know the Lakers just won, and Reeves and D'Lo really they stepped up finally and actually decided they wanted to play to their hit some shots. But D'Lo, the previous game, had 0 points. Mm-hmm. He had 0 points. Do you think he still should have got all of his starting minutes? Or
yes.
It should have.
Yes.
But because
what are you gonna do? Who else is gonna put in? Who you gonna put in, Twin Man? Twin Man, I should put you in the dugout. I would put you in the dugout for that one, Twin Man. Who else you gonna put in, Twin Man?
If you'll let me explain myself.
Go ahead.
I've already said this to John before. If a player's struggling, I understand you don't want to shake their confidence, but this is the playoffs. It is time to win. This is winning time. You have a bench. Utilize your bench. I believe Gabe Vincent was a Miami Heat player who stepped up dramatically in the playoffs, and once he got a rhythm, he really didn't miss, and he played really well. Give him some burn. They actually started running Jackson Hayes. I'm sorry.
Now you said something. Now you said something smart. Jackson Hayes getting more time. Wait, and Torian Prince getting more time. Now you're talking. Now you're saying some smart things.
I agree with you.
Johnny,
I'm sorry.
After you left last week, they had bad days last week after you left. They had bad days after you left because they were just talking last week after you left.
Go ahead to him, man. I'm sorry.
No, I made my point on something.
I understand.
You get a minute, Ashmal. I'm gonna give it to you, Michelle. Everybody's gonna get their last word, but go ahead to him, man.
I understand John's logic and why you wouldn't do it, but at the end of the day, you don't do that in the regular season. This is the playoff. Again, he's struggling. See if you can. I'm sorry. Play Jackson Hayes more. They did this last game. That's why they won. You play Torian Prince more. That's why they won. Who's a better defender? Gabe Vincent or D'Angelo Russell? Gabe Vincent or Reeves? Or Torian Prince or Reeves? Play a bigger lineup. That's all I was asking. Give these players some more burn because your starting lineup, from your guard position, is struggling. That is all I was asking for, and give Jackson Hayes some more.
Give them more players to blame when they lose, man.
Yeah, what the Lakers did was run Denver's offense. The Lakers ran Denver's offense. Denver couldn't even stop their own offense. That's what happened.
Yeah, you saw them put LeBron in the dunker spot and catch Aaron Gordon sleeping. Like that's pretty much how they was getting them.
No, the real move last night that really helped the Lakers win was somebody in the Lakers brass lost the Nuggets shoes, so they were taking warm-up shots with slippers on. They were playing on their slides. That's what I heard. So somebody in the Lakers brass hid the Denver Nuggets shoes or made it show up late. So they went out and shoot around. Yeah, no, for real, they went around shoot around. They all
that really happened.
That really happened. It really happened. But supposedly the shoes were delivered late. So I guess something happened with the shoe delivery. But we're gonna let everybody get their last take so we can get up out of here. Ishmael, go ahead and start so we can get up out of here, and then we'll move from the bottom to the top.
Last week,
brother.
I was saying that it's just the Lakers. It's just so annoying when they have LeBron James at center and they keep on playing small ball. So it's pretty cool that they had Jackson Hayes and they had a more well-rounded lineup. Also, I also said that LeBron James should just take at least 25 shots. And look what happened. He took 23, and and then they ended up winning. So I think
elimination games. LeBron is taking shots. He's taking his shots. LeBron taking his shots. Elimination.
I said that LeBron needs to start
See
taking.
what happens when you ball hog, you win.
Yeah, you're right. He needed the ball hog. He needed to stop passing so much, and he needed to shoot. People, and the thing is, I don't know why people say that he doesn't try to get involved, people and stuff. All year, like in the first quarters, he didn't really get his shots off. Sometimes he'll go 0 points in the first quarter. But for this series alone, I believe if LeBron James takes at least 25 shots, I think that they can win more games. I don't know about winning the series, but they should have started that in the beginning. Just saying. All right.
I appreciate that. All right, so New World, any last takes before we get up out of here? Real quick, brother, 30 seconds.
All right, but just shout out to you and B Lee again, man. You guys are off the chain. You guys are great. You be killing these JDRs. And I always wanted to ask you, man, why you be letting them off the hook when they be trying to discredit conference championship? That's an accolade, man. Conference championship.
We never let them off the hook with that.
I mean, Craig talk about it all the time.
Yeah, y'all can't let them off that. That's 10.
You haven't seen. Listen, we got posts for days about that. Listen. Never. It is an actual trophy. There's a banner. There's hats. There's shirts.
Exactly.
There's confetti.
Yeah, I just had to put that out there real quick because y'all got to keep your foot on their neck. Keep your foot on their necks, man.
Don't let him make another finals. Don't let him make another finals.
Exactly. He one of the only players. He one of the fewer players to win conference on both sides.
Facts. Yo,
but yeah, glad we got that W. Lakers in 7.
Let's go. Give him a cookie.
Yeah, Lakers in 7, but that's just me being delusional, man. I hope it happens.
Yeah,
very delusional, but that's cool. That's
contrary,
cool. I'm thinking the same thing.
Yeah, contrary to Craig's belief, LeBron has no participation trophy. Jordan actually does has a participation trophy. So let's go to you, DJ. Let's go, DJ. Your last take, sir. 30 seconds, please.
Man, great show, y'all. This is my first time talking to B Lee too. But great show. Shout out to y'all. The Lakers need to fire Darvin Ham like yesterday.
Hey, have y'all seen the clip going around where Darvin Ham is like writing up a play and LeBron leaves and Reeves leaves and he's still writing up the play?
Yeah.
You see that one?
I've seen it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's the worst coach I've ever seen in the NBA. I mean, this is insane when you got a lineup like Denver and you want to play small ball. So he needs to be fired yesterday. But yeah, like I said, great show, man. And these JDRs get on my nerves too. So
shots fired. All right, well, Travis, any last words, brothers? MJ delegates, you guys get the rep. Ralph left y'all hanging. Ralph said he's out of here. Shout out to Ralph. He went to go watch the Knicks play. But go ahead, Travis.
No, I mean, good points by everyone. I don't see how you could say that he underachieved. I mean, it's like I said, a top 3 resume. Shout out to New World, man. I liked a lot of his takes. Brought a good energy, and it's better than a lot of whatever. But maybe I'm just like refreshed to hear good takes after all the insane garbage last night.
Thank you, Travis.
Because you hopped the fence. It was on the other side last night. You was hopped the fence. You was in defensive player of the year in mid-range amusement park.
I was playing defense for LeBron, dude, versus Magic. Like, defensive player of the year is me.
Oh, don't tell me.
I bet you defense didn't matter in that debate. I bet you defense didn't matter in that debate, right? I bet you didn't matter. No, right? It didn't matter.
The refs were on your side.
All right, Craig. Any last words for anybody, brother? Anything you want to take? Any last take, brother? Please.
I mean, not really. I mean, like I said, I would say he did overachieve, but my guy overachieved better. So.
Well, come to think of it, Jordan had 6 seasons. I would say maybe 7 seasons where he was the best team or had the best team, or especially if we go by the end of the season, it was more like 8 times or 9 times. But he did win 6 championships, so I'm not gonna go there. We leave Jordan alone for today. You Zesty Jeffries got enough bombs dropped on him.
Jeffries.
I'm gonna use that from now on. That one's off the chain.
Brandon, any last take, brother?
No, I don't really have much, but other than LeBron, of course I don't know if you want to say he over or underachieved. He is who we thought he was. I know they expect him to win 7 titles, but that wouldn't be the record anyway. Yeah, that's 11.
All right, well, first off, like I said, man, thank you guys for showing up on the panel. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, John, for being a part of us every Sunday. Thank you guys for joining us, Twin Man, New World, DJ Killer, Ishmael, Ralph, all of you guys. Thank you again, Blue Boat. You guys were all great. It was wonderful to have you on. I don't know if you guys noticed this. That guy Kobe showed up, and when he realized it was a real conversation, he dropped off because I think he showed up to troll. But he bounced. He didn't want to conversate with Brandon and I. But either way, you guys know how you can reach us. We're right here on YouTube every Sunday, noon Eastern time. I go live every Friday for the Friday Night Exposure if you want to holler at me. But we are the GOAT James Kingdom platform. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Thank you to the membership. So we got a few members here I want to thank. We got Sports Talk Only. We got Marlon Malcolm. We got GOAT James, Chris GOAT James. We also got Cuba. We also got King John and Travis as members as well. Thank you guys so much for supporting the GOAT James Kingdom platform. Everybody else that's in the comments, thank you for joining us. Again, it is Sunday afternoon. We do it like none other. We are the GOAT James Kingdom platform. Catch us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Discord, Facebook. Our Facebook group is over 90,000, Brandon. We keep growing and we keep going there, even though they keep suspending me. But it doesn't matter. We're going to keep doing this. The Lakers in 7, Miami Heat in 7, Heat and Lakers finals. I'm A. Johnny the Exposer. That's B. Lee the sports analyst.
What would be great? Will make the best achievement. I'm just thinking about it. If a player wins a league MVP, an in-season tournament MVP, and a finals MVP in the same season, that will be the ultimate.
And defensive player of the year. Don't forget that one. You got to add the defensive player of the year. All NBA first team, all defensive first team. And the scoring title.
And the steals title. And the steals title.
And league MVP. That would be incredible. That
scoring title. Let me tell you something.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this is GOAT James Kingdom. Peace and blessings. Enjoy your Sunday, y'all. Peace, y'all. Thanks so much.
All right. See you, everybody.
See you.